music, cut the music, we're live. We're here, we're direct, and the Lakers won too, thank God. Thank God, once in a fucking blue moon, a poor Lakers fan gets a win. Hello, Jean Shirt Lamau. First of all, I've worn this like for 10 years. I wore this on my first day of streaming, and I've worn it like every 3 months since, and you're acting like it's brand new. I've worn this so many times. This is only my oldest shirt that I have. I've worn this so many times. Don't howdy cowboy me. Hello! God damn, it's good to see you on such this beautiful, auspicious day where the fucking Lakers finally won a game, and I made some progress on some really cool projects, and I'm feeling good. What you drinking? I am drinking pure distilled vodka to stay lit for stream. I want you guys to know how seriously I take this job, that I want to show up with the highest possible energy. And if anybody doesn't know this, you're more fun and happier when you're drunk. I don't know if I've ever mentioned this. It's a good piece of advice. If your friend's ever like in a bad place or feeling like they're not like life of the party or whatever, just tell them to get drunker, because that is the key. So it like just basically changes everything for the better. And that's why I'm constantly another rounding, basically. You know, this is a darker story, but we're going to kick off with this. I went to school at ASU, obviously, but some of my friends went to U of A, which is the other big rival Arizona school. And some of our friend group at ASU from that high school that split off, heard that one of our friends down at U of A was drinking too much, like possible alcoholism. Okay, like he had gone too far. He was drinking every day, and we needed to. I don't think we call it an intervention. Again, it's we're a bunch of young guys. we're all drinking too, you know. Okay. So we all go down to U of A to like hang out with this guy for a weekend. I think we like throw a party. Like we do drink. We also play video games. We also hang out. But like, we also are like gonna sit the boy down and talk to him, you know? We talk to him. And so we have this like mini intervention where we're like, hey bro, like you gotta cut back. Like, no, seriously, like it's fucking with your classes, with your life, with your health. You know, you're used to be like a really athletic guy, whatever. We're doing this. And then he's like not breaking down, but he's like just opening up to us and being honest. He's like, yeah, man, I just get like, I don't know, nervous. And I feel like I'm funnier when I'm drunk. And I feel like, or like something like that. And again, I think I had a lot of good stuff to say. But I also say, yeah, you are pretty funny when you're drunk. I mean, sometimes you are funny as hell when you're drunk. Like I said this because it was true. It was fucking true. I was just saying facts. Like he was actually a funny, you know. I always sunnied it, yeah. Anyway, before you get too worried, he's great nowadays. It's fine. I don't even know if he really had alcoholism. I think maybe he just had one bad party or something. Can't be too negative. Yeah, exactly. I wanted to be upbeat. Atrioc, I ran into a fellow viewer IRL. He recognized my hat. Crazy to see live in. Crazy time see live in. Crazy time see live in. Oh, sorry. I'm burping from the spicy water. Crazy. Well, that's awesome. It's cool you ran into somebody. I'm blurping. Crazy times we live in. I see. That makes more sense. Crazy times we live in. That also happened to me. Met a guy on campus, exchanged Instas. ET6334, thank you for the 51 months. God damn, thank you for the 50 months. Yeah, I mean, it's cool. The Atrioc hat is sort of like an icon, or the Enron hat that you wear, and it's like you're part of a secret society. And people will get you into clubs. They will get you into, there's VIP access. CEOs will open doors for you. Like if you have the Enron hat, it's like a nod of like, oh shit, this guy's, it's the, yeah, it's the glizzy deep state. Yes, exactly. It's like the Skull and Bones Society at Yale. Yes, correct. You are accurate on that. Should we be wearing Enron hat to interviews? No, you don't wear the interview. That's too obvious, too on the nose. It's like you do the interview super fucking confidently. Almost talk down to the interviewer. Like he asks you a question, you laugh. What a stupid fucking question. This is a waste of my time. Then you get up, and as you're leaving, you put the hat on. The guy's he's like spitting with fury. He's so mad at you. Oh, why I've never been to the. And then he stops and he sees your hat and he goes, oh, I'm sorry. I understand. I didn't know who I was dealing with. Okay, and that's when he nods and he writes down 5-star A+ candidate. Like, get this guy. So yeah, it should work. Whatever your most important job interview is, do that exact thing I just said. Hey, Atrioc. One of my students last semester knew JPow's name off rip, so I think he's an Atrioc viewer. I obviously gave him an A+ thinking from service. You think the only way people know about Jerome Powell is through me? You think I'm the only source of information on Jerome Powell, chairman of the Federal Reserve? I don't think so. I think there may be other avenues you could have learned about that. Tough job, Jerome Powell. Tough job he's in. Tough job. Lots of companies reporting weird earnings. A lot of companies saying, hey, our customers are acting kind of weird. They're not buying as much. Fucking Walmart, Lululemon, fucking FedEx, fucking lot of earnings calls where they're like, customers are acting so weird lately. Target was one of them, yeah. Why are they so weird? Why are they so weirdly not spending as much? Cosine, thank you for the 48 months. Golden Glizzy acquired. Thanks for the content. Pleasure and an honor. Pleasure and an honor, Cosine. I just spent $3,000 on a digital piano. You're welcome, the economy. Damn, bro. You really are helping out. You really are getting money flowing back into the economy. Digital piano sales spiking. Why? What is it? What exactly is a digital piano? I'm not a music expert. I just have the voice of an angel. Because I can get the high notes. And I can hit the... Oh, I'm not going to do it now. I'm not warmed up. Digital piano. Digital piano. It's just a piano. Oh, it's a piano. I see. I understand. I get it. It's a piano, but it doesn't need the keys. It doesn't need the, or like the, what are they called? The drums? It's a keyboard. The strings? No, but like, I'm talking about the little thing that goes down and hits it. The hammer. The hammer and the string. That's what it is. The hammer. Listen. Call me the white Beethoven of music. You've never watched a piano tuning TikTok and it shows? That's correct. You've got me dead to rights. I have never watched a piano tuning TikTok. What was I did see a TikTok. Let me see. There was one that I think would have really resonated with my chat. I'm not going to be able to find it. I don't see them. Is it the setup stream? No, this is the fucking. We're in the main event, baby. Piano tuning TikTok goes. Is it like Is piano tuning TikTok like soap cutting? Is it just satisfying? Is it or what's the appeal? ASMR? Can I piano tuning TikTok? I just want to see like what would like a 1 million view piano tuning video look like? They don't really exist. This is the highest view. Maybe I guess for me, it's not about the plane. It's about the pilot, you know? Maybe some of you only care about the latest and greatest technical skill or mechanics, you know? But I care about like the heart and the soul of it. So I guess it's a difference, I guess. Poor craftsman blames his tools, as Squeaks would say. Yeah, I mean, Squeaks didn't invent that phrase. I don't think that's as Squeaks would say. It's a very common phrase for decades and decades and decades. He's that old. I guess he could have invented. He is old enough to have done it. He is old enough to have done it. We have a video coming out, by the way. Me and Squeaks. We did a bald versus bald, bro versus bro, and it was really fun. It was a blast. So there will be a YouTube video for that. It's being worked on by the late great Eric Sinchi from Beyond the Grave. I figured out that if I can turn my editors into earthly spirits that haunt this realm, I can pay them less. So what I do is I've been murdering them, but then leaving them with unfinished business. So they have to haunt the world like Casper and edit my videos for all eternity. W business move for me. You should do woke versus broke with a random homeless guy. This is your first chat message? What do you, what's the hell am I doing with my life? I'm not doing this great idea. This is such a good idea. Woke versus broke. What a good idea. And I think there's nothing more woke than challenging the homeless to games of skill for money. So this will be great. This will be a huge win. Dude, what if I challenge a homeless person to know all the proper latest terminology and trigger words? And if he doesn't, I say he's a fucking enemy. He's not an ally. He's a fucking... And then I take money from him. That could be huge. This could be a good video. 10 out of 10 video? Bro, don't ever say 10 out of 10 to people who make YouTube, bro. 10 out of 10 is the worst. 1 out of 10 video is what you want. A 10 out of 10 is a disaster. 10 out of 10 is depression. 1 out of 10, they give you a confetti. I'm not kidding. Half of the YouTube videos you've ever watched have been made because somebody was chasing the dopamine high of that confetti. Hey, Atrioc, just wanted to say thank you because I've always loved your teardown streams. And after the most recent one, I got into teardown speedruns. And I got a record. I beat the game with the hammer in 22 minutes. 2 minutes faster. First of all, fucking awesome. Congrats. That's fucking sick. I'd love to get people into teardown because teardown's such a fucking great game. I still think my single most underrated video is the most recent teardown video. I think that's a flawless video. I think it's one of the best gaming videos on the internet. It has the perfect ending. It did well. I don't know if it didn't do well, but I think that video is actually so underrated. Why Like, I felt so proud of that. I think the editor did such a good job. It was Quack. And, you know, it did fine, but it was like that was a banger. Why are you wearing a denim button up? It's your first fucking message, huh? So why don't you just seamlessly enter the chat, Clay Farts? What's wrong with my denim button? I've worn this 1,000,000 times. Good question. Did you watch Nintendo Direct? I thought it's on Wednesday. The Nintendo Direct does not happen for 3 or 4 days. It's on Wednesday the 2nd. Will I watch it? Yes. Will I watch it live? Probably not. It's 6 a.m., bro. Am I going to get up at 6 a.m. like the fucking Saratoga water guy? Splash my face in ice and then watch fucking Switch 2? They had one 2 days ago? Yeah, but it was like a fucking whack one. The one that's important is on Wednesday, I think. China economy videos this year. Well, thank you very much. But that video got 1 million. It did well. I just think the teardown one is underrated. Like, if people watch the beginning, like, I'm not interested in the gaming, but I think it tells a good story. I tried to get into Apple iPhone repairs, but they make the tools expensive and replacement hard to get on purpose. Thing is, that's the biggest market in phone repairs. I'm not... you wanted to start a business where you repair iPhones, but it's like a pain in the ass to get the right tools? Yeah, they control it top to bottom so that you have to pay them. That's their whole thing. They don't want anyone else involved. There are right to repair laws that would benefit you as a consumer to be able to repair your own shit without having to send it off to a fucking expensive Apple certified care dealer. For example, I've talked about this before, but like one of the biggest examples is John Deere tractors. John Deere tractors have software in them where if even the tiniest part breaks, the whole tractor shuts down and will not run until an official John Deere licensed repairman can come out to your farm and repair it at great cost. And it's fucked up. And it's like a sign of their monopoly power. And farmers fucking hate it. But, yeah, so right to repair has a big push among people like that. Lena Khan was an advocate for this. I think made progress on it, but she's gone, so... Hey, big A, thanks for all the content. Help me get through another work week. Any advice for me? I'm feeling I'm in a major rut at work, but worried it's going to be the same at their company I go to. Well, what reasons do you feel like you're in a rut? I'll tell you that I don't feel like I'm in a rut, but I do feel I've done this a lot of my life actually, where if I have a goal and I grind towards it, the second I hit that goal, I think I let my foot off the gas. Probably when I should be hitting the gas more. On the front of the gas. And definitely once I had that Tesla video, I kind of took a little, I've definitely slowed down. Just like it's been a week and a half, but I've just been like relaxing a bit more and going to more Lakers games and because that was my goal. That was my biggest goal for the whole fucking year. And I hit it early. And so I was like, all right, well, I can relax a bit. And it's not fucking relax forever. I just want, I take a little break. I don't think there's anything dead wrong with it, but, I have stuff I want to finish. What was the goal? Well, my first goal was just to get a Marketing Monday to hit 1 million views. But I hit that with Luca. But then I was like, man, it would be cool if I had a Marketing Monday beat the Hitman videos and be my most viewed video. And then I hit that with Tesla. So I was like, all right, well, I just back-to-back my 2 goals for the year in March. And so now I need a different goal. Goal is move Adish out. Adish is coming here in 2 weeks or a week. Age coming to LA. Obviously I have podcast goals, but I think I did a good job. I worked hard to get a slideshow for that. You know, I got some stuff. We got some video game goals. Called Sea Dog today. Had a little discussion. But now I need to set a goal for this fucking channel and this YouTube. You ready to sign an NDA? Yeah, I signed a bunch of NDAs. But I feel like I've broken NDAs on this stream. I feel like if it's a good enough story, I just keep talking and I just assume no one will ever fucking. I'm sure that I've told a bunch of stories about Twitch and Nvidia that I'm sure like could violate some fucking something I've signed. Like, dude, I was trying to think of like, there's so many Nvidia stories that I said I wouldn't tell until after I left the company. But then now it's been so long and I haven't told them that I'm like forgetting them. Like I don't, they're not coming to mind. And it's like, I think there's probably some fucking good stories. I just need like something that reminds me of a day. And then I'm like, oh yeah, that's fucking great. It's not dementia. It's just like, there's just like, can't tell the XQC story. No. Can't tell that one. Can't tell that one. No. Any more Smoothie King stories? You mean other than naming myself the Smoothie King and ruling the Twitch office with an iron fist of smoothies? No, there's no more stories to that. It is funny that the Twitch office, I could like call myself the Smoothie King and like say Brandon, nah, more like Blendon. And I could like have jokes with all the people who call themselves the Smoothie Prince. And then if I tried that at Nvidia, everyone would just blink. And it's like, they're so different companies. That's what I was, Nvidia was so buttoned up, you know, it was like so serious. It was like they would have no fucking idea what, yeah, Nvidia's a real company. Yeah, and one of them's worth $1 trillion, and one of them doesn't make money still. So, so like maybe there's a reason. Like I'm not saying Nvidia's doing it wrong, dude. I think they're doing it right, bro. I just they make money if Blendon stuck around. Maybe. Are you still subbed to the Twitch channel? No, dude. When I got banned for the elephant penis during the Wikipedia race, it took away my Twitch sub. Fucking the great loss of the century. Fuck, dude. I was the only one on the whole internet subbed to Twitch. Those rat fucks. Amen, dude. Amen. Fucking men. Atrioc, if you had to be someone from history, who would it be and why? What an interesting question. If you had to be someone from history, who would it be and why? I mean, is it the greatest answer of all time to say Hitler then kill myself? Wait, actually, I guess I could just not do the things. Although, I guess I don't have to kill myself. I could just not do what he did, right? I could just, you could just be young Hitler and go to try again for art school. I don't know. Here's the thing: is like I assume to be someone. If it's just my brain and their body, then I'm not going to be able to do the things they did. They have different skills and passions and unique things. So like there's nobody who's really cool that you'd want to be because you just won't do what they did. Like if you put my brain in LeBron's body, it's not like I wouldn't. I don't. You know, I don't score the same number of triple doubles. That's not how it works, bro. You'd score more. I see. You'd want to be Gandalf. I think Gandalf low-key is improved with my brain. If I get all of Gandalf's magic powers, I feel like low-key I could actually make that whole journey a lot easier. I actually feel like Gandalf kind of fucked up the whole bag. He made it harder than it had to be. You'd make a great cigarette marketer in the 80s. Using my one time with a genie to go into anyone's body in human history, and I go back to some random ad executive from the 80s to sell cigarettes to get more cancer. That doesn't seem super worthwhile. No, this is tough. It would be interesting to be JFK and dodge the bullet. What an aura form that would be. What an aura form to be JFK and then go, huh! Just, and everyone's like, holy shit, how did you, just had a feeling. Just had a feeling. Holy fuck, dude, people will be talking about that. Yeah, then I go, fight. Oh yeah, dude. Actually, I know where Oswald is. So I go, I dodge it. I grab the Secret Service's gun, shoot Oswald dead. Shoot the other guy, the CIA guy. Fucking cinema. America would be so different if JFK actually did that. That's what I'm saying, dude. That's what I'm saying. I could change things around here. I could shift this whole country up. Could be Mark Wahlberg and stop 9/11. Be Nostradamus and actually, dude, the way you spelled Nostradamus reminds me of 15 minutes ago when I was watching Stream East Lakers game, and where's my screenshots? I looked in the fucking chat, which is very degenerate, and I saw this image. How do these refs get away with being so clearly biased? Vanessa, stop being so damn biased. Damn, I'd be willing to bet that Adam Silver's contributing to all this bias. Bro, 3 separate people. Is it a meme? Okay, I hope it's a meme. A Stream East meme? Oh, let me look it up. Let's confirm. I don't want to let him off the illiteracy hook. I looked it up. All I found was someone definitely not from Streamy spelling it that way. At least this person's illiterate for sure. Man, Austin Reeves was fucking magical today. Sheesh. Illiterate because they're a brat gay? Wrong there. Sorry. Before you cancel me, you should get the right there. I'm half by the way, so it couldn't possibly be. Ogie Boros, thank you for the 13 months. Shambles 07, thank you for the 29. But dude, I can't see what happened. M Legend 614, thank you for the 43. Sheesh. Buzukia, thank you for the tier 1. Yeti, thank you for the 59. Shout out Yeti Apocalypse, the GOAT, from day one, from downtown. Yeti, interviewed by the New York Times for shitting on Elon Musk. Speaking of Elon Musk, I should talk about the Twitter buyout. Probably. Well, is there anything else before I jump into that? Is there anything else? Why do first-time chatters keep coming and asking about my denim button-up? Yeah, I'm wearing a denim button. Is there a problem? There's no problem. It's just so many first messages. You know what I'm trying to do? I'm trying to reconnect with Canada. Okay, somebody's got to do it. Somebody has to be the American ambassador that gets Canada to extend the olive branch, okay? If I have to wear a denim button-up to do it, I'll do it. I'm going to eat some maple syrup, and I'm going to talk about hockey. You guys see Ovechkin? He might pass that record. Question mark? I'm sorry, is there a problem with my hockey knowledge? He's Russian? He's Russian, but he plays hockey. Okay, we've been every fucking Canadian hockey player. I'm not a big fan of Gretzky. Sorry. Cancel me, I guess. Maybe I'm too woke. I'm not a fan of Gretzky. That's just me, I guess. Maybe you are a spectacle. Maybe you love fucking Wayne Gretzky, but not me. I'm more of an ally, okay? Ovi supports Putin. Yeah, but he scores goals. You know what I'm saying? As if a player from 40 years ago is the only Canadian player. Obviously, there's other Canadian players. Like, sorry, I had a cough. I was gonna say that you know what I fucking love? Connor McDavid. Connor McDavid and Connor Bedard. Those are like my big two, to be honest. All the Connors of Canada, I think they're just fucking, they're so cracked. They're so cracked. Robert Thomas, guy's a fucking beast. Noah Dobson, legend. Braden Point. I'm pointing at him right now and saying, you got a big future, Braden. Nick Suzuki. That guy's legendary. He's got a future in this business. P1 Smoothie, thank you for the 4 months. Anyway, I know a lot about hockey, as you can tell. I clearly know a lot about hockey. That nerd, Evan, thank you for the 22 months. Hey, Large Atrac, thanks for 2 years of making content. I enjoy when I get your streams. Appreciate it. That nerd, Evan, you got anything you want to talk about? 22 months is a long time. Do you have a topic you want to bring up? Fuck Duke. Dude, I actually don't care about college basketball at all. I don't care about it. The only thing I care about is beating Clint Stevens in this fucking March Madness bracket, which I'm not doing. I'm doing terribly. Do you know why? Because I picked way more upsets than I thought there would be, or than there was. I don't know shit about college basketball, so I figured, like, there's got to be a lot of upsets, right? So I picked a lot of, like, fucking crazy upsets, and none of them happened. The top seed won, like, every time. What's your favorite eye to look at when you're talking to someone making eye contact? There's a trick I learned from a teacher. Teacher told me if you want to look like you're staring through someone's soul, look at their forehead. Like right there. Don't even pick either eye. Look there. It'll look like you're staring directly into their soul. I mean, obviously I get... Where does your forehead end, though? Staring at A. Sharker Squeaks' forehead. Can't scan the whole thing. Fucking gotta back up. Very funny. Really, that's fucking funny, man. Holy shit. Have you considered a career in comedy? Have you considered whatever you're doing right now, school, work, just drop out or quit and go on the road because you have a masterful command of your craft. I literally think you could go on the road, get up on stage, do tours, and tell this joke, and people will lose their mind. I think you have a Netflix special. My college teacher referenced your podcast. Wait, what? Wait, tell me more. Your college teacher brought up Lemonade Stand? Yeah. Are those dumplings? No, it's the salad. What the hell? Hey, why doesn't the American government put taxes on buying stocks so that more people invest in bonds and the government can borrow money for cheaper? I guess because taxing the act of purchasing a stock would be pretty silly, seeing as how it could go down immediately and then you've paid a tax to lose money. That seems a little silly. I will say, you're kind of joking, but unironically, so how do I explain this? The way government bonds sell is like an auction. So imagine it's like this. I'm going to try and draw something. Let me get a little. Imagine it's like this. Okay. This is a 1-year bond. This is a 5-year bond. This is a 10-year bond. Okay. And this is how much interest they have to offer to get you to buy it. So let's say it's like 5%. 5%. I mean, we have an inverted yield curve right now, so but percent is normal. 7%, 9%. Okay? So it's like this. Okay? Okay, like that. You get it? Do you understand? So it's like an auction. So every day they go out there and they're like, hey, we need to sell a bunch of 5-year bonds. And the price, the amount of interest they have to offer, which is 7%, basically starts at 0 and ticks up until it gets to where someone's going to buy it. Okay? Do you understand? So right now, what is the 10-year at? Does anyone have it? It's like 4 something. We have an inverted curve, so it's really kind of fucked up. But does anyone know the 10? It's 4.3. So let's just say 4.3. So this goes out to the world. We go out to the world. We say, hey, we have a bunch of 10-year IOUs. Who wants to buy them? Who wants to buy them for 3% interest? And everyone says no. Who wants to buy them for 3.5%? Everyone says no. Who wants to buy them for 4%? Everyone goes no. And then we go 4.3 and they go, oh, okay. And then some people buy it. And that's how the price gets determined, right? So it's being said that one of the plans, because this is very expensive, 4.3 is a lot for a 10-year bond, because we have so much debt. We have a fuck ton of debt, and if we have to roll it over at 4.3% interest, then we're going to pay a lot of interest. So we're trying to get this number down. We want them to buy it at like 2 or 1 or 0. Again, the government doesn't set this. The government can set this one. This is Jerome Powell. It can set this one, but not this one. And that's where we want to borrow. So one of the theories is that there is a desire to crash the stock market, or at least make stocks less appealing, so that more people start buying these bonds earlier in the auction. That is a theory, because this is so high, we have to get this number down. And usually in times of stress or tumult, is that, if the stock market's going bad, then people will start buying these bonds at 3% or 2% or 1% because they want the stability of the 10-year return. This is a theory as to, what Scott Bessent is thinking right now. Now, listen, it's complicated because I think Scott Bessent is smart enough to see this avenue, but he would also tell you that, like this tariff plan is really stupid. He would tell you this before he got the job, not now. So it's difficult to say, but I will say that even if this was the plan, it's still like a desperation Hail Mary. But the idea is that, like, hey, we just can't afford to pay this much interest on the amount of debt we have. So we have to get people to start buying government bonds less. Here's what's happening, though. Here's the crazy thing. So the stock market hasn't been doing very well this year. It isn't crashed, but it's down, right? The Nasdaq's down 10%. And as it's been going down, this number has not been falling. Normally it does. Normally as stocks have any shakiness or go down, this number falls. But it hasn't, which is kind of spooky for this whole master 5D chess plan. People still don't want to loan U.S. money for less than 4.3%. So it's interesting. It's like we could just end up a spot where our stock market gets worse and our borrowing costs barely dip. It's like goes down to 3.7 or something. And that would be a disaster. So anyway, let me blow my nose real quick. No. I do think has anyone ever in chat ever gotten a deviated septum surgery? I sort of wondered why my nose gets stuffed when I talk a lot, and people say it could be a deviated septum. And now I'm thinking of getting one. It doesn't make sense. I should be able to talk as long as I want without my nose getting stuffed. Atrioc, what kind of cuck buys bonds at 0%? You got to have the whole boot down your throat. Yeah, I think a little too aggressive for a government bond discussion. I'm not buying bonds at 0%, and I don't think that discussion was about it. They were trying to get down to like 1 or 2. But, you know, there's actually some truth to what you're saying. Whereas in a country like Japan, where they've had fucking negative yielding bonds or bonds at 0.1 or basically 0%, they kind of have to force, they buy half of it themselves, and then they have to force like banks and pension funds to buy it as part of their rules. Otherwise, they just wouldn't buy it. 0%, it's like nothing. So they have to be kind of cucked in a way, I guess. I guess. Like there's a truth to what you're saying. Are bonds protection against inflation for the buyer? No. Bonds do not protect against inflations. In fact, bonds are really exposed to inflation. So, you know, like let's say, let's say you buy a 10-year government bond paying 2%. Okay? So, whatever, you buy it for $100, and every year you get $2. Okay. Well, if we get into an environment of like 5% inflation, then you're losing 3% a year. You know, it's like if inflation rises above this, you have a negative real yield. So what you can buy instead is there are things called TIPS. Just the TIPS. Treasury Inflation Protected Securities. TIPS, if you buy a TIPS 10-year at 2%, then every year it checks the inflation rate, the CPI, and can up this to 4%. Or fucking, it adds to whatever, the inflation rate is. So it stays, but it costs more. I mean, you get a smaller yield generally because of the inflation protection. But if you want to be protected, TIPS can do you just stay losing money if inflation raises throughout the year until it updates? It never updates. Oh, you mean on TIPS? Yeah, I don't know. I think it's just based on the CPI rate. I don't think it's like a split date. Can I Klarna bonds yet? Damn. It's actually low-key brilliant. That's actually low-key brilliant. I guess the problem is the Klarna. If you could get Klarna to have 0% interest for 6 months, then you could buy a 6-month bond. Wait, isn't Klarna 3 months already? Can't I just Klarna a 3-month bond and have essentially guaranteed money? Like, how do I, what am I missing on downside? What am I missing on downside? So I wanted to figure out if I was missing anything, so I checked ChatGPT. It looks like as long as the timing lines up, right? Because if there's ever a day where I have to pay Klarna and I don't have my money from my bond yet, then I'm fucked and it ruins everything. But as long as the timing is perfectly lined up, where I have no interest and I get paid out before I have to pay Klarna back, then there's no real risk, but the profit is so minimal. Because again, it's like for 3 months you might get 0.125%. But theoretically, you could do it. Theoretically, they're really, I guess the other downside would be, no, I mean, even if Klarna went belly up, you borrowed the money from them. Huh. You shouldn't do this. I don't even think it lines up. Like, how long can you borrow from Klarna? It's not 3 months. How long is Klarna interest free? Uh, 6 months? Do they don't have like a fee or like a... It's just so interesting. It's just so interesting. It's such a small amount, but like if you theoretically could do it with a bunch of... That's just a funny... that's just a funny idea. Is it illegal at all? No, it's not illegal. Well, I also don't know. Klarna, you can't just get money. This is the actual problem. Klarna is not like you can't just get money. They only, you can use it to buy things. There's no Klarna checkout button on Treasury Direct. It's not a cash loan. That's the problem with it. Okay, I figured out what the problem is. There's no Klarna checkout button. And they don't give you cash. It's only for products. Klarna an item and pawn it. Okay, so now you've added the risk. What I was talking about was risk-free. Now you've added the risk where I have to pawn something for an appreciated value equal to the amount that I want to borrow. You've added the risk. But I guess theoretically, you could buy $10,000 worth of merchandise, then instantly return it for a full cash refund. Then put that cash in a 3-month bond, then get the yield on the bond after 3 months, and then pay off your Klarna. Infinite money glitch right here on the stream? It's not fraud. No, it's not fraud. It's all, I mean, I guess you'd have to see Klarna specific terms if they're like, there's no, but it's arbitrage at worst, really. What's the, I mean, the fraud is like when we're talking about, if you could buy a treasury with Klarna, I don't see how it's fraud. If you put in all this middle steps where you have to like buy something and then return it to get cash, maybe there's. If you're like industrial scale buying and returning things to get money, it's not. No, I don't think so. I don't think so. Anyway, fraud's legal now. Fraud is legal now, dude. Everyone's getting fucking pardoned. You know what's interesting is PayPal has interest-free loans too, right? It's just so interesting. Yeah, I mean, this guy just got pardoned. Who else got pardoned? There's so many pardons. I want to talk about them all. This tweet. The administration when it comes to pardoning frauds. Dude, I did not know that song would be on there. SBF might get pardoned, dude. Get the GOAT. Carlos Watson was just about to report for a 10-year sentence and then got pardoned. Financial conspiracy case. This is the guy that had... I think this guy had a fake media company which he was claiming had a lot of viewers and readers it didn't have to raise money, which was a fraud. But also he had, I don't know if they say it in here. I remember this vaguely. He had one of his friends pretend to be a YouTube executive in a meeting with investors and be like, yeah, they're incredible. I mean, they are truly, anyway, he gets pardoned. I think he donated. The company strained to make payroll, ran late on rent, and took out pricey cash advances to pay bills. What he should have done is take out cash advances to buy 3 months treasuries. This could have worked. Don't make me pay, Associated Press. Yeah, I mean, it's crazy. This guy definitely committed fraud and was sentenced by a Trump-appointed judge. It's just, it's like crime is legal if you donate. It's crazy. Willfully flouted U.S. anti-money laundering laws to boost revenue. The Nikola guy got pardoned. The BitMEX cryptocurrency guys got pardoned. Yeah. How much do I have to donate? I don't know. I got to prepare my bribe to Dan Clancy. All right. Next time I'm banned. Free my girl Elizabeth. Dude, get Liz Holmes out of jail. What did she ever do wrong? Except create a fake blood testing company and lie about it for years and years and years and raise a bunch of billions of dollars of capital. So girls can't have hobbies? That's what I'm saying, bro. Other than that, God forbid a girl boss slay. Knew you'd go straight to that. I knew you'd go straight to that. Nothing else gets talked about when it comes to my girl Liz Holmes. Hey, Truck, I've been watching you for at least a year over on YouTube. I think I'm supposed to say Glizzy or something. Anyway, I appreciate your content. Thanks, man. Thank you. You nailed it. You nailed it. You fit in perfect, seamlessly. Yeah, I mean, beautifully. Perfect chatter, really. No one could tell you haven't been here for years, chatting along with everyone else. Tell me that was the first chat. It was not their first chat, but it was one of their first 5. Glizzy. You know what I'm saying? Does that make sense to you? Boy, I'm getting a real beard here, huh? Might be shaving time. Shaving time. Turn on all the lights on. And it's fake. Imagine. I've been like gluing this on every day. Turn on all the lights on. Beautiful rendition of the lyrics. You know what I'm saying? It's called creativity. It's called making a piece of art your own. Okay? I have a different take on the music. Shave your head. There isn't that much left anyways. And then you did Minions laughing so loud that you fall over. Is that how you react in real life with that joke? Shave your head. There isn't that much left. It's like the most basic ball joke. And then you literally fall over. I just don't believe it. I don't believe that's your actual reaction. I think at best it's a slight exhale. I think it's like that is what you're doing, but you're typing like you are gut busting laughing. Is it illegal to give a pardon to someone that donates to your campaign, or is it something that's hard to prove? I don't know what the law is around pardoning. Pardoning seems like this literal get out of jail free card. Pardoning has just gotten more and more abused. It's just kind of like a fucking. It's like it's an ability that gets spammed. You know, it's a spammed ability. It's too strong. I don't know if there's a crime around it, but I don't think that it would be a problem. I don't think it would stop. Needs to be nerfed. Yeah. Devs, talking to the framers of the Constitution. Devs, this thing is too OP. Needs nerf. One more Scottish game dev. Thank you for the 10 months. A pardon's kind of like Malzahar W. Zoomers in Congress be like. If you get in trouble for pardoning something, yeah, exactly. It would require. Oh. The Bill of Rights will henceforth be called Patch 1. That would be based. I think if we adopted more gaming terms for our government, we'd have a better government. It would be sicker. People would understand it more. They'd feel more bought in. We should have regular patch notes. Like, new laws should be considered patch notes. And it's like we buffed or we nerfed tax fraud or something. I think that'd be sick. And there's a government change log. And they write them in like cool, fun, like they have a dev diary, little YouTube video where they walk through the patch notes. What about the bill of lefts for all you liberal sissies? Sure. Bills for both sides. How about that? Can't go wrong with that. Get rid of political parties and that will fix our country. Our country. I think a lot of people would agree that our system has become very polarized, so that political parties are not really benefiting the common person. But I think money in politics is more severe than political parties. Because who doesn't want to have a party? You know what I'm saying? I think we should have political pizza parties. And everyone has to get down, have a slice, and talk things out. You know what I'm saying? That's just me, though. Like, I think the government should get a fucking 32-inch pie for every town, you know? Or every group of people that wants to talk about politics and figure it out. And it's subsidized by the government. Science slumber parties. Yeah. There used to be election cake. Wait, really? You talking about Bill Clinton's ass or something else? Election cake. I've never heard of this. I think the USSR already tried. Wow, there was a colonial tradition of baking an election cake. In like the 1700s, they would make a cake and then give it out to crowds of people who come to vote. Wow. That's kind of high. I bet people would vote if we had cake. George Bush's mom be like, have a good time with your friends, Georgie. What the fuck are you talking about? Yeah, I guess she would be like that. Before he goes to hang out with fucking Rumsfeld and Cheney. This would solve the voter turnaround issue. Yeah. I was offered a job with a lobbying firm in DC, but I don't really know if I want to leave my home state. What do you think I should do, Big A? How much more is the job than your current one? listen, I will tell you, you shouldn't handicap your career, but my understanding is that um, the opportunities in DC might actually be drying up. Bouncy, thank you for the 18 months. Nah, I mean, take the job if you want it, but I guess a larger question is that, like, I wouldn't not take a job because you don't want to leave a state if you're young. Because you could always go back to, like, settle down. I think traveling a bit for a job is not crazy, especially if you don't have a lot of roots, like if you're not married with kids or whatever. Like, just, I think, regardless of this particular job, I don't know what you'd actually be doing, but yeah, man, moving so cheap nowadays, clueless. Steambucker, he's talking about a job offer that he got. Okay? It would be cash flow positive to move for it. He's not fucking talking about randomly moving. Jobs pay you money. Rage bait used to be legal. I don't think it was rage bait. I think it was a dumb message. Hasn't been paid yet, though. Are you trying to say that if you have a $50,000 a year job and someone offers you an $80,000 a year job in a different state, that you shouldn't travel because you won't want to pay for the moving cost? What are you fucking trying to say? It is the dumbest thing I've ever heard. If you already have the job offer in hand, of course. Fucking. Fucking ridiculous. It might cost $30,000 to move. Companies might also cover the cost. One of the things I looked for when I was moving just from NorCal to SoCal is I tried to get a job down here in LA so someone would cover the cost of my move. All the people spamming Year of Kindness are ready for the nuclear fallout in 2026. Bro, get ready. Get fucking ready for 2026, dude. This is the Year of Kindness. I'm holding back. January 1st. It's scorched earth, bro. Year of anger. Year of fucking retribution. Year of abrasion. No, dude. The big atom bomb. Atrioc, I just joined Twitch for the first time. I'm 33, but I enjoy your content very much. Why'd you say but? Why'd you say but? What do you mean? You're like, once you're 33, you can't enjoy my content? It's so crazy. I'm not a Zoomer. I'm 33, bro. We're the same age. You can't enjoy my content at 33? How do you feel about debt settlement companies in this current economy? Where am I headed with the debt? It's an interesting question. Debt settlement companies would be like for a person. And he said, well, we might be headed with debt. Are you talking about the country? I'm a little confused with your second question. I would be careful with debt settlement companies. They offer you what sounds like a very appealing way out of your debt. But generally comes with a lot of strings, often a higher interest rate. They like close out all your other stuff and then put it under one thing with them. but then they usually charge you more. Um, Big A, my credit score is 7. What do it do? Your credit score is 7? There's no way. It's impossible. There's not. It can only go up from here, though. A credit score of 7 is not. I don't even think that's. Yeah, it's like you literally took out the Uber Eats Klarna loans and defaulted. You defaulted on a fucking McDonald's fry order. You defaulted on. You're in the bottom of the bottom tier. No, 7's not possible. Lowest possible score is 300. Is that true? I didn't know that. Lowest possible credit score, 300. Yeah, you're right. 300 is the lowest possible score. What a weird system. Why? So it just ranges from 300 to 850? Fucking why? Why this random number? Why? Just, I think they just don't want to make you feel bad, I guess. It's like how League of Legends added, what was it, like wood tier, but made sure like everyone was in bronze so they felt better about bronze. It's like they just, because everyone needs a rank to look down on. That's everyone needs a rank to look down on. And so they just try to fucking, they add some at the bottom as a joke. One guy is 300. Well, the guy at 300 didn't know he was the lowest till now. The guy at 300 thought, well, at least I'm not a 100 score. At least I'm not 100 or 200. But now we know. So you really just subtract 300 from your score. And that's what it should actually be. I don't know my exact credit score, but it's not. I mean, it's good, I'm sure, but it's not as good as it could be. And I think this is because my understanding is now that we're married, I've inherited all of Ari's, and Ari's always made her payments, but I think we had this plan that, when I got some money, I paid off all my student loans before we got married. And then we were going to pay hers off, but we're like, let's wait and see if Biden cancels them. So we waited like 3.5 years and he didn't cancel them. And then we paid it off. But I think that hurt the score. That's my understanding. I'm not 100% on all this timing, but I think we were trying to wait out the Biden cancellation. Dude, speaking of student loans, I mean, I had this in my notes, but I think like 15-20% of them are all past due now. Okay. Actually, wait, yeah. Here, look. More than 15% of all student loan debt is past due. This is from fucking 2 days ago. Borrowers could see their credit scores drop more than 170 points. Yeah, delinquency rate up. I don't want to subscribe to congress.net. Thank you. Borrowers had until the September of 24 to make arrangements for repayment. Yeah, I talked about this in the Max Stupid video, or the Slowly All at Once. I think a lot of people are not paying. Once reporting begins again, it's likely many people are going to be in for a very unpleasant surprise. Millions of credit profiles dropping overnight. Yeah, it's crazy. Is that like soon? It's like now. It's happening now. I don't know if they have an exact date here, but oh, July 1st. 270 days of delinquency as default. So July 1st will be 270 days for all these people. So if you're not paying your student loans, you have till July 1st. Don't worry about it. Fucking forget about it. That's way in the future. That's all of April and May and June? Come on. That's not a problem. That's a future you problem. You're absolutely one of your TikToks will hit by then. And you'll be hanging out with Charlie D'Amelio and you'll be fucking rich as fuck. And you can figure it out. Yo, I don't want a backseat, but the Mistborn trilogy in the background is in the wrong order. What do you can't even read it. It's blurry. What kind of fucking zoom enhanced frame shit are you using? What are you... How is this? I don't even know. Damn. It's in the wrong order. That's 132. Holy shit. Holy shit. You have you got a level of autism. That's crazy. That's fucking who's the guy? That's Goodwill Hunting type shit. Wow, incredible. Well, now it's fixed. Good job. I'll put it back. And then you have this. Look at this warrior that I made in Korea. This is when I studied abroad in Korea. I made this out of clay. Are you impressed? Wow, pretty cool, isn't it? Pretty freaking cool. I mean, this is a masterwork. Melted Shrek. Ninja Turtle without shell. I guess art is in the eye of the beholder. Everyone looks at it and sees something different. What I like to do with my work is I like to express the distinct realities of humanity. I like you to see fractions of yourself in the art that I create. So yeah, I guess it is kind of beautiful. Wow, thank you. Very, very well said. Yeah, I think it is. The way his eyes, follow you around the room. It's like so haunting and powerful. We were supposed to make a pot. just to be fully clear, everyone else made a pot. This is what I made. Not joking, not exactly. This is exactly how I was bored, and this is what I made. And everyone else made a pot, and sort of different, sort of Sigma. He's quirky. Yeah, that's my audition to be a manic pixie dream girl in a Wes Anderson movie. Cherries! Thank you for the prime! Thank you for the prime. 100% Atrioc is the kind of kid who tried to eat the glue, but in high school. Really? You think I was eating the glue in high school because I made a little warrior instead of a pot. I would disagree with you. I would disagree with you. I have a DoorDash problem. Do you think there's an AA for that sort of thing? Delete the app. You don't need a fucking DoorDashers Anonymous, bro. Delete the app. Delete the fucking app. Just say no, ass advice. Okay. Okay, dude. What do you want me to tell you, okay? They already make it hard to do because it's fucking crazy expensive. It's not chemically addictive to use DoorDash. It's not like alcohol or nicotine or fucking heroin. So it shouldn't be that hard. What you should do is you should uninstall DoorDash and install Uber Eats. That way you're free, but you can still get the convenient food delivery, okay? Da, 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 da. Mm-hmm. I used to eat termites when I was a kid. Don't pin that. Don't make him have to. Oh yeah, here's a good idea. That's a good idea. Every time you refuse to use DoorDash, pop a Zin as a little reward. That's a good idea. Smoke a cigarette. Take the edge off every time you don't use DoorDash. That way your brain will get trained. And pretty soon you'll have a DoorDash problem. Just use someone else's credit card. You save money and they'll cancel your account for you. This could also work. Credit card fraud. There's a lot of ways around this. Or here's the thing. Anytime you are going to, if you're hungry and you want to get food, instead of eating, scroll TikTok for 3 hours. So just lock the fuck in and scroll for 3 hours. And pretty soon you'll be in such a malaise that you won't even be hungry. And then sleep. So just sit there on your bed, scroll for 3 hours, then sleep. Then wake up, then scroll again. And that way you won't have to eat. Malaise, more like malaise, and then you grab a bag of chips. That's good. That's fucking good. That's bars. God damn, that's bars. +2 lyrical genius. Are you? Yeah, we're going to do Get Smarter Saturday. We're going to do Get Smarter. Actually, we should do Get Smarter Saturday right now. Get Smarter Saturdays! Let's watch one video. Let's do a little teaser taster. And then I want to talk about Elon buying Twitter. And then I want to talk about Liberation Day. Get Smarter Saturdays! What a big fucking day that is. Get Smarter Saturdays. An age-old storied tradition. Much how Aristotle and Socrates learned their craft. They would watch YouTube videos in the round and discuss them with a loud and vociferous chat. And now you can be a part of that. You can have the knowledge that these greats from the past did. Einstein learned most of his knowledge from this. All you have to do is submit a YouTube video. The rules are simple. Can't be too long. Can't be too boring. And at the end of the video, we have to have learned something. That is the important part. We have to have learned something from this video. Collectively, we're going to learn from these YouTube videos. Now, thankfully, I have already picked two videos. One, this is the new Almost Friday. That's an easy one. That's like a joke one. And then there's a new good work, I think, that explains what Palantir does. And I want to watch that because for some reason, Palantir, a company that really shouldn't be worth what it's worth, is still up 20% in our thing. It's Doug's best performing stock. And, you know, it already seemed a little bit overvalued to me. So I want to understand it better. What's it doing and why is it valued so highly? So let's start with this.
Rich and famous tech companies talk about what they do. They usually say something like, "We are connecting the world." And by that they mean we are creating a sexualized Farmville that is as addictive as opioids. So when I learned that last year's best performing stock by growth was a Silicon Valley unicorn by the name of Palantir, I was pretty sure I knew what they were up to. Probably they made a streaming service called Boo Boo, a housing rental app called Housely, or earbuds called Doinkers or whatever. But just to be sure, I looked them up. At which point it became clear that these cats are...
Do you guys know that if AirPods were split out into their own business, they would be bigger than Nike? Like significantly. You say that a lot? Well, I mean it a lot. It's crazy. You from 10 times? Yeah, okay, fine. I'll say it 11 times. It's crazy. Someone in the chat didn't know that. Now they know it. They wouldn't have the Apple name though, right? Yes, of course. I'm not. Okay. I'm not actually saying it would be a smart idea to split out AirPods with its own business. I'm saying based on their revenue, they would be bigger than Nike on AirPods alone, which is crazy. And some people are learning this right now, and it really is shocking.
are a little different from the techies who typically cross my desk.
We built this kill chain, the digital kill chain. How do you defend your country and kill your enemies? Our product is used on occasion to kill people.
Two things here, folks. First, I have wet my pants. Second, what?
Wait, I'm sorry, I want to crash out real quick. Here's the thing. If I tell a story from 2019, there's going to be some fucking chatter with 50,000 messages in my chat who goes, oh, okay, heard this one before. But it turns out every day we have new people in here, bro. We have new people in here, okay? Both the main channel and the Big A Clips channel have had their two biggest months ever in the history of their channel. So some people are going to check out the stream for the first time, and maybe they want to hear a little fact that they haven't heard before, okay? Do you know what? I think there's a lot of people that haven't heard a really great dog shampoo story, or the really great plane story, or the really great diamond story, and they haven't heard any of that because some people in chat, like fucking Crane, who've been here since 2019, go, oh my God, heard that story already, heard it a million times. And it's like, no, actually, most people haven't heard it. Most people haven't heard it. It's actually a great story.
As always, I began my investigation on Bing.com, which I used to type in Google.com, which I used to search for Palantir.com. A quick spin through their site will tell you that Palantir is all about AI-powered automation for every decision and delivering mission-critical outcomes for the West's most powerful institutions. Sentences that boldly ask the question, What if Genghis Khan and Ronald Reagan had a baby who wrote mind-numbingly boring marketing copy? However, I did come across one thing in my research that even I can wrap my noggin around. Whatever Palantir does, it makes them a lot of money.
Palantir stock is booming, absolutely skyrocketing.
Palantir has been a standout this week,
Surging 22%.
Hugest outperformers of the last year.
Right now, there is no comparable company.
I'm here bravely outside of the offices of Palantir. Their stock rocketed up 340% in 2024, peaking this winter to give them a valuation of over $250 billion. And although their stock price has dipped since then, they remain right up there with the likes of AT&T, IBM, and those hunks over at Cisco. But I couldn't let the money distract me. Not now. If I was to truly understand Palantir, I was going...
They don't actually make a lot of money, though, right? They're valued a lot, but I don't think they make a lot of money. Yeah, in 2024, they made $2.8 billion in revenue. What's profit? Palantir profit 2024. They made $462 million in profit. Is that a lot of money for a regular person? Yeah, but what did Cisco make in profit 2024? Dude, what? Is that real? Bro, Cisco made $34 billion in profit. $34 billion in profit. Cisco made fucking 5 times Tesla. Palantir made fucking 400 million and they're valued the same.
going to have to take more drastic measures, like calling people who actually know what they're talking about.
Can you answer that question for me here and now? What exactly does Palantir do?
I will say 2 things. The fact that you're asking that question goes to the heart of the company and the confusion over it and also the mystique of it. Number 2 is I will tell you what they do. They want to win Defense Department contracts, commercial contracts as well, but I think they have their eye at the prize.
Sharon Weinberger is the Wall Street Journal's national security editor, and much like me, she's been covering the U.S. defense industry for over 20 years.
They got their start going back to 2003 in trying to come up with a data analytics platform. We're in the middle of the war on terror. We're involved in operations in Afghanistan. We're involved.
Not to LeBron glaze, but this is the year LeBron was drafted. And he's still out there doing it. Can we just talk about the fact that 2003, he enters the league and he is still out there, age 40, tearing it up? That's fucking crazy. Somebody was drafted into the war and he was drafted in the NBA. And who worked harder? My man Legoat. LeBron fights a war every day. Yes, dude. Every day he laces up and gets on the court, he fights a war.
Involved in operations in Iraq, and what is our number 1 problem there at the time? It's insurgency, it's roadside bombs, IEDs that were killing U.S. and allied soldiers and infantry on the ground at a really alarming rate. So Palantir came in.
You know, if Steph Curry had been drafted into Iraq and lost a pinky, LeBron would have 7 rings. Like 8 rings. You have so many rings, dude. What a different world that would be. Okay? What are we talking about? We're talking about how fucking Steph Curry and Steve Kerr conspired to fucking stop LeBron's dynasty.
And said, look, we can take all of this information that you're collecting, and the Defense Department collects a whole lot on the battlefield, and integrate it in a database and help you spot bad actors, spot terrorists. That is what they pitched themselves as doing when they were first sort of coming on the scene in 2003, 2004, and really for the first decade plus of its existence. What they've expanded to today is something much bigger, in some ways more interesting, and in some ways kind of posits them to be more successful, which is they are a problem solver for the Department of Defense. You have a problem, we will solve it.
All right, so here's the deal. Palantir is a data analytics software company who got its start during the War on Terror and today has big ambitions to be the U.S. Department of Defense's go-to problem solver.
The idea of a Silicon Valley company saying we kill things, that we're interested in serving the Department of Defense and the Department of Defense wages war. That was simply unprecedented back in 2003. It was what made them unique. People hadn't seen it, and that they were going to compete with companies that had been around for decades and dominated the market.
The company.
Well, you got to understand, though, Silicon Valley has a second mover's advantage. So, yes, Palantir is doing well right now, but once Tim Cook of Apple gets over his reservations about killing people, and Apple moves in and makes their own AI death software, they'll do it. They'll take all the contracts in a fucking week. The eye drones, the eye drones, the eye missile. Once they let Tim Cook, dude, he's gonna wax Palantir. Once the big dogs get into this fucking space, the ICBMs. ICBM, I'm sorry, ICBM. That's good. The ICBM, the IED. That's good.
Sharon's talking about here are commonly known as the big defense primes.
What is second mover's advantage? I mean, I was joking, but it's something like Apple will do, or Meta's done this. It's where a smaller company innovates something really cool, and then the bigger company just copies it. And they have more resources and bigger scale, and usually they can overwhelm. Like a good example is like Clubhouse. there was that company Clubhouse that was like voice chats, and they were worth $4 billion, and I think they got an offer from. Skype is another good example. Or Snapchat stories, and then they became stories on Instagram. Or Discord and TeamSpeak, whatever. Someone comes later and like learns all the stuff that you did wrong, learns from you, uses their bigger scale and beats you. It's like Peaker's advantage. I guess. It's not really like Peaker's advantage because Peaker goes first, though. It would be like if the camper had an advantage.
Places like Lockheed Martin, Boeing, Northrop Grumman, and Raytheon. The Department of Defense gives these chillers huge contracts to make fighter jets and stuff.
One of the things that these new...
It's just insider trading. No, it's not. Don't just bookend the conversation by saying some random term, It's not insider trading at all. How? That doesn't make any sense. No, second mover's advantage is nothing like insider trading. There's not even any crossover. There's no... Don't just be like, yeah, I get it. It's like insider trading. It's like, no, that's not true at all. That's not even... In no way is it trading or is it insider. It's not... It's like a pyramid scheme. No, it's not. It's none of the things you're saying. Oh, it's basically compound interest. No, I get it. It's all inside baseball. It's like quantitative. No, I see what you're doing. I just want to call that out. That no, you don't have it right. If you think it's insider trading or quantitative easing, you don't have it right. You don't have it correct. You're these. It's not a short squeeze.
companies like Palantir are kind of helping to disrupt, which is probably good, is the system of prime contracting and defense contracting. We have a few big contractors that have these giant contracts and they have cost overruns. One reason the Pentagon's budget is so big.
Margaret O'Mara is a historian and professor who studies the modern history of American politics and business and how they overlap.
And this is something that policymakers have been pushing back against for decades and trying to rectify. So yeah, having more companies in the ecosystem, that's probably really good.
Hey everybody, just popping in here to say happy
Incogni. Check it out. You can browse.
Then check out Incogni. Palantir is at the front of a new group of companies who say they are going to disrupt the old, slow, bloated defense primes with their new, efficient, innovative, user-friendly Silicon Valley style. Because you know, you either die making boring old fighter jets or you live long enough to see someone come along with their own swarm of autonomous attack drones.
They've made a ton of really senior hires from US government agencies, and also a number of really senior Palantir executives have been appointed by Trump to senior government positions.
Palantir has been hiring well from, I guess, the pool of people that know how the government system works.
Tabby Kinder is the Financial Times West Coast finance editor,
FT!
and Cynthia O'Murku is an investigative reporter for the FT. Together, they wrote a piece about how successful Palantir has been at landing government contracts, pointing out that the company has done quite a good job of cultivating, shall we say, intimate.
So they hire people who are connected and just left government, and then those people talk to their old friends in government and then get them big contracts. And that's their fucking business. That's fucking cool. That's fucking cool. You know what? Even if this is the case, which it is, it's still not insider trading. Just to be clear, people jumping in, it's still not insider trading. This is you are still not using the term correctly.
Toe-tickling relationships with governments.
Palantir has been built on people from government. They are obviously informed. They're people that work on these really crucial missions and in the armed forces and all those sorts of places where Palantir has traditionally sold its business.
And boy, have these boys been selling some business. Palantir has landed over $1.3 billion in Department of Defense contracts since 2009. This is for stuff like the Army's Vantage Data Analytics platform, this James Bond-style AI satellite computer suitcase, an AI-powered drone system called Project Maven, and Titan, the Army's first AI-defined vehicle, which promises to do things like reduce sensor-to-shooter timelines, reduce soldier workflow burdens and cognitive load, and enable long-range precision fire for the modern battle space. Basically, stuff that not only goes vroom vroom and pew pew, but also beep boop beep. Scary shit here, folks. But Palantir's government contracts extend well beyond the military. During the COVID-19 pandemic, the U.S. contracted Palantir to track outbreak data and set up a system to distribute vaccines. More controversially, Palantir reportedly helped Immigration and Customs Enforcement with all sorts of stuff, including a surveillance system to plan and organize workplace raids on an original...
So I want to pause because I don't understand what an AI-powered truck means. Does it mean self-driving or what are they? What is an AI-powered truck really? Can I look this up? Let's do a quick check. What was it called? Palantir AI truck. Titan. Okay. This is the Titan. Deploying the first AI-defined vehicle. See, what does that mean, AI-defined? Like, they asked ChatGPT what a truck is? It's got 4 wheels in the back and they built that? Or like, what the fuck are you talking about? As the first software prime, Palantir is delivering a novel AI-defined vehicle to provide deep sensing capability that will enable long-range precision fires for the modern battle space. This is the Army's next-generation intelligence ground station, enabled by artificial intelligence, AI, and machine learning, ML. Are they just selling buzzwords to the army? What about this truck is machine learning? Our solution integrates sensors, networks, and automation to increase operational tempo and reduce time from sensor to shooter. Reducing sensor to shooter timelines. I mean, it doesn't have guns on it. So what does that mean? What does that mean? It tells you person's there and you shoot it, but okay. Okay. Well, why don't I just start a conversation here and I fill this out and I ask them to let me know. What if I want to buy one of these for the stream? How much could this cost? How much could an AI-powered Palantir truck cost? Is this street legal? Can I? What about a sponsorship? What about a sponsorship, Palantir? What about me, Aiden, and Doug joyride a Titan? Klarna. Wait, there's a video. Wait. Hold up. This might explain what it does.
Building off 2 decades of experience delivering software capabilities for the warfighter, Palantir is developing the Army's first AI-defined vehicle, designed to outpace and outmaneuver our adversaries with cutting-edge technology that will enable long-range precision fires for the modern battle space. Titan is the Army's next-generation, deep-sensing intelligence ground station enabled by artificial intelligence and machine learning, and represents the first-of-its-kind modernization program. Titan is a historic first for the Army, as a hardware program.
This feels like a video game cutscene. I'm getting such a weird, uncanny valley video game cutscene fucking.
And developed by a leading-edge software company. Titan delivers AI at the edge that can be tailored to the mission, ensuring soldiers have the latest and most relevant models wherever the mission takes them, even as the threat landscape evolves. What sets Titan apart from prior capabilities is the decisive advantage that the software-enabled capabilities will give to soldiers. This includes faster, deeper sensing that can handle modern sensors at scale.
Okay.
More accurate targeting enabled by cutting-edge AI and machine learning. And more adaptive than any previously fielded system as a result of the software-first development cycle. Titan is a ground station that has access to and can manage data from space, high-altitude, aerial, and terrestrial sensors. Palantir's Titan solution is designed to maximize usability for frontline forces and soldiers by incorporating tangible feedback and insights from soldier touchpoints at every step of the development and configuration process. This ultimately enables enhanced mission command and long-range precision fires. This is a critical enabler that advances the Army toward JADC2 and deters the near-peer threat. Let's take a look at how it works in action.
Dude, can you imagine buying a used truck from a junkyard and then putting a ChatGPT enabled laptop in it and then selling it for a fucking 300x markup to the military? No, I can see that clearly there's something here, but
users start in the unified management.
This all just feels like justifying a way to milk the government. Like, perhaps this is such an amazing sensor thing, but you know what I'm saying? Like, how much does this cost over a regular truck? How many of them you're getting? I feel like this is something you could take a look at if you were Doge, but they're not.
Interface, or UMI, which provides them with a comprehensive view of the entire system. Users can monitor system performance and receive push notifications if any system component surpasses key thresholds. Among the key elements users can monitor from UMI is the status of environmental control units, or ECUs. The type.
Damn, you can get a push notification. That's based. Okay. Oh, here we go. Check this out.
As data streams into the Titan system in near real time, analysts use the suite of exploitation tools to identify and track targets. The system uses AI to reduce the sensor-to-shooter timeline by automatically refining tracks and target locations, and by identifying potential targets in imagery or video sensor feeds. This fused data creates more complete, higher confidence targets for users to review. As potential targets...
Damn, it's got like an Asana board for killing people? Dude, I use this at work. I use this shit at Twitch. It's got the 4 fucking... It's a Trello board. It's a fucking Trello. It's a Trello board for murder. Dude, that's crazy. Identify power type coordination execution. Dude, a Trello kill board's crazy. That's crazy work. That's so funny. I use this for social media at Twitch. Like, post-drafted. Talk with sponsor team. Oh, that's fire. That's crazy. Laughing at that is kind of weird, not gonna lie. Hey, buddy, I think this might be the wrong stream for you. I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm just gonna, I'll call it early so we don't get off on the wrong foot. I think this is gonna be the wrong stream. It's just not. You're not gonna. It's not gonna work. I can't change enough for you. Okay. Where's the good work video that we were actually watching before I got sidetracked? They're $18 million each. Palantir got a contract for $180 million to develop 10 prototypes. Interesting. I'm a Clancyville Army exec. I just ordered 5. Oh, God, dude. Get these into Clancy's head. We got a problem. All right, let's all pitch in 50 grand, okay? And then we'll buy one of these trucks, and it'll be my mobile operations command center. And I'll drive around not just the country, but the globe, sort of attacking with my content. I'll drive right to Clancyville. Yeah, exactly. I'll attack Clancyville. Or you can buy more gold stocks. Bro. Just someone please go take a look at the comments on the fucking clip where I talked about putting 15% of my wealth into gold. And then look at the headlines from fucking 1 day ago. God, so stupid. What a fucking idiot. Atrioc, you don't even fucking get it. Both of these nuts. Yeah. Okay. Oh, there it is. I found the video. Okay.
Contract worth as much as $127 million. During the 2010s, the New Orleans Police Department ran a secretive partnership with Palantir to test predictive policing technology, which could have been named Minority Report if we had any taste. Around the world, Palantir's tech is being used by the Ukrainian military, by the Israeli military for, quote, war-related missions, and by the British government to overhaul the technology behind the NHS, England's state-run health service, which oversees one of the...
Only the UK would take software used to kill people in the Middle East and Ukraine and put it in their NHS health service. That's good.
The biggest repositories of individual patient data in the world.
So in the UK, it became quite a controversial, set of contracts that were implemented. The UK government had opened itself up with open arms, or welcomed Palantir with open arms, whereas civil liberty groups and groups with privacy concerns were a lot more skeptical. I think there's been a lot of concern around Palantir and what it really means for them to provide these services, and especially privacy advocates have been very concerned about its offerings, and Palantir has pushed against a lot of this concern. But I think it is about transparency and how much access can you get and what can you do behind the scenes that another company cannot, and that is being done outside the
what would Palantir be good at?
And even with all this
NHS
government work lined up, Palantir has still managed to girl boss its way into an impressive book of commercial business. Banks and government regulators use stuff like Palantir's anti-money laundering and customer data tracking products. BP has been a longtime partner, using Palantir's software to support its digital transformation program. Palantir's chief technology officer tweeted last year that the company's AI clients include United Airlines, Lowe's, General Mills, and Do Not Sleep on Tampa General Hospital. By Jove, they've even got their paws in big pickleball. Neighbors, if you think pickleball paddles are loud, just wait till you hear motherfucking Titan rolling down your street. It's the Army's first AI-defined vehicle, folks. Long range, precision fire.
I mean, I get they can offer differing AI solutions to different companies, but it almost feels like they're just going around to all of these places, including the U.S. government, who don't really understand AI and don't know how to use it, but want to be seen as using it, and then offering them bloated contracts. It feels like we allow you to say you're using AI as a service. Which seems like a good business, I guess, to be in for now.
For the modern battle space. Overall, Palantir's commercial revenue in the United States jumped by 54% last year. A lot of that momentum driven by Palantir's pivot from data surveillance in their early years to AI products today. Now, the honchos who originally created this sprawling Palantir beast are none other than Peter Thiel and this guy, who looks like if Taika Waititi got electrocuted. His name is Alex Karp. Though
he really does.
Guy who looks like if Taika Waititi.
He really does look like Taika Waititi's evil brother that you can't see it. Well, he really does though, straight up. Wait. I forgot I made copies of my face because I was doing that thing with Squeaks. I got one Dan Toomey's face. He looks like him, dude. He looks just like him. That's crazy.
TT got electrocuted. His name is Alex Karp. Though Thiel tends to stay in the shadows like the sassy little mystery minx he is, Karp is one of those modern tech CEOs who says a bunch of crazy shit to feverish crowds of employees and retail investors that he calls Palantirians, leading them like mother flippin' Caesar Augustus.
It's definitely been in this kind of meme stock Reddit retail army category for a while. The subreddit for Palantir traders is, I think it's about 100,000 people now. I mean, they refer to Alex Karp, the chief executive, as Daddy Karp. He's really responded to that by saying kind of increasingly I'm trying to find a polite way to say this, just increasingly kind of out there things in his interviews.
That's right, Tabby. It's always dangerous to start calling rich guys daddy, because you never know what they're going to feel emboldened to say next.
Me as a front man offending half of America.
I don't think in win-lose. I think in domination.
Almost nothing makes a human happier than taking the lines of cocaine away from these short sellers.
I love the idea of getting a drone and having light fentanyl-laced urine spraying on analysts who tried to screw us.
Now, despite whatever thoughts you have on good old American Fent P, Karp is a tricky figure to pin down. Yes, he partnered with Peter Thiel, the notorious far-right libertarian who backed Trump's 2016 campaign and bankrolled J.D. Vance's political career to build a data surveillance company for hunting down terrorists, all stuff that might be easy to generalize as conservative. But then again, he backed Kamala Harris during the latest presidential election. He frequently donates to Democrats. He likes to go trail running and loves Denver. All stuff that might be easy to generalize as lesbian. Everybody, I think we got a new type of guy on our hands.
Karp is someone who comes from a kind of left-wing background. Peter Thiel, who's the founder and really the person behind Palantir, is famous in the Valley for being a very outspoken conservative or a techno-libertarian. They have these really interesting, strange bedfellows in terms of leadership, but I think they have something in common with the old style Valley, of the Valley of the Cold War era, in that there's this understanding that there is a partnership that's necessary between private industry and the defense establishment in order to get the best tech in the hands of the U.S. government. It's waxed and waned, but the business of war has always been Silicon Valley's business to some degree.
The relationship that Alex Karp and Palantir are pushing for between the tech industry and the Department of Defense isn't so much a new status quo as it is a fresh version of an old one. Karp is very open about being a fan of the old school tech industry, one where Lockheed Missiles in Space was the largest employer in Silicon Valley through the 1980s, one where the Department of Defense built the original internet, one where Oppenheimer's Manhattan Project brought together the finest scientific and engineering minds in the U.S. to collaborate with the government. In his new book, which I read on the subway and was then immediately hit on by a very Ford attack drone, Alex Karp argues that the tech industry has lost its way over the last few decades, focusing on consumer products that essentially abandon any serious attempt to advance society. He writes that the software industry should rebuild its relationship with the govt, and while the blending of business and national purpose makes many uneasy, it is now the job of Silicon Valley to defend the West. And it's here that Karp has differentiated himself from his 21st century tech contemporaries with how open he is about both patriotism and making tech products for killing. But his peers are starting to follow suit.
The Valley has always had these ties.
What did he say? Americans are the most God-fearing, fair, least discriminatory people on the planet. And if you're sending fentanyl products, what's going to happen to you and your friends and your cousins and your bank account and your mistress and everyone's involved. Is that a real quote?
For killing. But his peers are starting to follow suit.
The Valley has always had these ties with Washington, D.C., but often has been very low-key about it and coy about it and pretended that, oh, we don't do anything with those people over there. They're like, we don't care about politics. It matters nothing to our business. We're a free market miracle. And in the background, they're like, can I have this tax break? I'm interested now. It's just more overt. And now I think there's a more broader public consciousness of like, oh, wait a minute. People like Peter Thiel and Elon Musk, they get a lot of federal contracts.
Now, despite Karp and Palantir's very real momentum, it doesn't mean that they are that close to revolutionizing the defense industry and unseating those old defense primes.
They have yet to prove that they can build a major weapons system better than a Lockheed Martin, Boeing, or Raytheon. They may have their own views on that, but when I look across at like what's being used in Ukraine on a mass scale, that is not yet the Palantirs or Andurils of the world. Doesn't mean they won't do it, but they have yet to prove they can.
Nonetheless, it is possible that Palantir will be the future. And if they are, then the approach that they have taken to rise to prominence. Well, this would all mean an entirely new paradigm for how American defense companies operate.
You don't typically see the heads of Lockheed Martin or Raytheon giving opinions about how the world should be ordered. Lockheed Martin is not trying to appeal to the day traders or to the meme stocks or to any of that.
They're lost.
Palantir
Free money.
they're kind of trying to sell themselves to the nation writ large. I think that is part of what is new in this era. Is Silicon Valley companies saying working with the Pentagon is not a dirty business. It helps national defense. These are good things to do. And clearly their message is working. Will that work in the long term? We'll see.
Indeed, we will see. For now, though, in the meantime, I've got my eyes on you, Palantir, and I encourage all my fellow citizens to do the same. For if a defense company thinks that it can... Oh, shit.
And now for a dramatic reading of Palantir Reddit posts.
Oh, let's see.
Threw 1.6 mil into Palantir because the CEO's head looks like my grandpa balls. So, are we warmongers? Palantir is a good stock, but is it an ethical investment? Hamas really took us to the moon. 0 upvotes, 30 comments. Software and war, fire emoji. I'm gonna come, let's go to the moon.
That's good stuff. That is good stuff. Damn, they really have had an insane run since, I mean, essentially since 2024. That was their year. That was their breakout year of the stock. Okay, let's see these fucking... Wait, actually, I want to... Wait, break. Wait, learning break. We learned something. That was actually a good video. We learned about Palantir. Important company to know about. But I want to watch the Almost Friday video. Because we love Almost Friday on this stream. They're very funny. Learning break, Almost Friday. It's finally meeting your girlfriend's family. 8 minutes long.
It's the week of hometowns, and I am so excited because, honestly, I'm falling for Becky.
Today, Levi is in my hometown, which feels crazy to say. I can't wait to just show him around my stomping grounds where I grew up, and tonight he'll meet my family, which is insane. I wouldn't be able to make a decision without their approval, so tonight is huge.
Part of loving somebody is seeing where they came from and embracing the most important people in their lives. I can't wait to meet Becky's friends and family and just show them how much she means to me. So this is Santa Susana.
Yes. This is the park that we went to all the time growing up.
So cool. Seriously, I already love it here.
We were supposed to go meet up with some of my friends, but we're not going to be meeting up for my friends, and I do have friends, and today will actually instead just be meeting up with my family, which I'm so excited about.
Yeah. And then, sorry, are we meeting up with your friends?
I have best friends that you would love. There's Sarah and Amber and Clarice and Sarah, and I can't wait for you to meet them. And today we'll be not meeting, and we'll be meeting with my family. Yeah.
Perfect. You know what? I guess we'll see your friends next time.
Yeah. Today's about family.
So today you'll be meeting my whole family. My Aunt Shirley, Uncle Lester, Papa, Christy, Edith, and oh, there's Jonah. Hi. And Jonah, my little brother.
What's up?
Ready to go in?
Yeah.
Let's do it. Hello, guys. This is Levi.
Can you believe it? I know.
Levi. Good to meet you. Hi. I'm Todd.
Give Jonah some love, too.
Oh, of course, we met outside.
Levi.
I'm actually really excited that Becky has a big family. Being an only child, there wasn't a whole lot of energy growing up, so I am just thrilled at the prospect of being part of a family like this.
Oh, that's Papa's path.
Oh, sorry. Maybe just don't tell him.
Oh, he'll notice, but I'll fix it.
From the second Becky walked in, she just lit up. I knew that was a really good sign.
It's been amazing.
Yeah.
Where did we start?
I mean, in Paris, maybe?
We were also
What
in
did
Hawaii,
Yeah,
which I had
Hawaii.
never been to.
Oh, ow! Did he?
Oh,
He pulled my hair out.
Mr. Jonah.
You ripped my hair out.
Mm-hmm.
Did I upset him?
He draws his prayers from God. He's our little listener.
Is this for me? I'm Todd. Oh my God, ew.
He has a condition that's very rude.
What was it?
He has a condition that's very rude. Let's sit back down, please.
I've been told Becky's family is a little eclectic, but you know, what family isn't, right? So just lucky to be here and get to meet them all. And Becky actually got the first impression.
Wait, save all of this. I want to wait until Papa's here. I'm
Okay.
gonna call him. Papa! 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 Papa!
Hello, children.
Hi, Papa.
There's my little peach.
Hi, Papa.
And this must be my new son.
Not yet, Papa. Watch it.
Him? Understood. I will talk with him. Levi?
Yes, yeah. Yes, I would love to talk.
Have fun. Be nice.
Going in and talking with Becky's dad, I'm a little nervous. I just know how much he means to her, so I hope I can show him how much I care.
Levi.
Mr. Walker.
Mr. Walker was my father. Call me Papa.
You guys are so cute.
Wait, really?
Really, so cute.
He's like perfect for us. I know. Well, he's like also perfect for Papa.
You realize by marrying my daughter that you're also marrying the entire family.
Yeah, I have definitely heard that.
Are you prepared to give love to the herd from your heart? Get ready to coal them with iron and flame?
I don't think I'd follow.
It's not a trick question.
Papa! Papa!
God, I love him.
I love you.
I love you. Only in the sister way.
You said your name was Todd, right?
Was Todd.
Oh, okay.
It'll be so great to get fresh blood in the family.
From me?
The babies, when they come out, they don't work. They don't work no more.
What's going on over there? Is he okay? What?
He's no longer with us.
What?
It's
What does
gonna
that
work
mean?
because you're here.
Why?
This
Why? What does
baby
that
not
mean?
work.
What? Oh, come on. Is that a fucking frog? Give it to me. He's dead?
Yeah, Jonah keeps digging up his body.
I don't know why we bother burying him anymore.
I need to go to the bathroom. No, I need to go to the bathroom. Ew. Ew.
Levi, where are you going? He's an artist.
We love board games. You love board games too. Like I think
What the fuck is going on? What is this shit? Who are you people? How are you even related?
Well, that's Papa, and then this is my aunt, and then that's my sister. But this is our baby because we don't buy our and then that's my younger brother. But we used to date. But we were dating.
Oh my God. What?
Are you here to kill me?
I don't know who you are. Why would I kill you?
Because they're gonna put my brain in your body.
You have the wrong guy. I'm from The Bachelor.
You're Levi.
Fuck, you know my name.
Okay,
No.
yeah, no, that's you're at the right place.
Do you take this herd to have and to hold until death do you part?
I do.
Do you take this herd to have and to hold until death do you part?
What? Then a Dollar Shave Club ad. Cinema. Wow. Who knew you could make Get Out in 3 minutes? Yo, Big A, big fan. I mentioned in a previous stream, I'm now in Brett Giles' class. Do you want me to shout you out? Bro is the GOAT. Actually, I have contacted Brett Giles. I don't need you to shout me out. He did a bunch of stuff for the stream. It's really cool. I'm going to talk to him. But that's cool. You're in his class. He's the GOAT. He is the GOAT. Dude's a fucking great teacher. Slushy Day for the Prime. Hey, Trigger, I just got my new Enron hat. I'm one of the 2% of ladies that view you. It's more than 2%. It's like 9%, okay? Maybe 7% on Twitch. I work as a barista at Scooter's Coffee. So far, only one customer recognized Enron, and only because they had friends that lost money in that shit. I felt awkward and unsure if I'm going to how old was the customer? Losing money in Enron's pretty old now. It's like 20 years ago they would have lost it. That's not impossible, but like you should, at some point, you got to move on. It's happened to me too. I mean, I had an Enron hat and a TaskRabbit guy that was helping me move said, "You work for Enron?" I was like, "No, sir." No, sir. I would have been 4 when that happened. And then he goes, "They're fucking crooks." Can you check your... Wait, sorry. You should have explained ironic humor to him. Oh, I did. I paused him and gave him a 20-minute lecture on ironic humor, and then I started pulling up my clips and being like, "See?" And then I made him watch like every Marketing Monday. And it turns out he didn't look away because it was on my dime. And then I found out that I was paying him by the hour, and he watched all my videos, but I lost money on, but probably plus one viewer. Okay, we need another video. We need a video that like we're actually going to learn something from. I feel like we need to learn something. We need to really, really learn something. Like something incredible. Something that's really gonna like stick in our brains And we're going to be like, holy shit. And we're going to just remember this moment forever. There's a new Jimmy High Roller about the greatest MVP race of our time. Why Taiwan makes all the chips that beep boop. Meta's secret plan to make Mark Zuckerberg cool. This is KSI doing a you laugh, you lose. That's not going to... Oh. This is not we're going to learn anything, but this is a 30-second video. Dude, this is half the reason I didn't go live on Friday. 1 second left. 1 second left. Lakers up by 1.
In Chicago.
Half court. Half court. Fucking Josh Giddey from half court. Fucking.
As Aussie NBA star Josh Giddey scored a crazy half-court basket on the final buzzer to beat LeBron James and the LA Lakers.
What the fuck is that?
James and the LA Lakers.
That's so unreal. That's so fucking unreal. I mean, LeBron played terrible in the last 20 seconds of the game. He had an inbound pass right here that was fucking here's the thing, this is not a joke. If you switch me and LeBron for the last 9 seconds of that game, they win. They win. Okay? They win. Okay, let's get an actual video. An actual video that is truly going to fucking expand our minds and expand our hearts. And it's going to be incredible. And it's just going to fucking go crazy. It's going to just go dumb fucking wild. Damn, none of these are really standing out to me. I want something like Mark Wahlberg has a $100 prayer app. The biggest tax dodge in history? Oh, that could be interesting because it actually segues to the Reddit. Dude, we have a lot of videos, but I'm going to scroll to the bottom and see if I missed any crazy ones. How does Chernobyl visually explained is kind of interesting. How data's... You guys can just look right here. Let's just see what we're looking at. Japanese Navy is weird. Genius design of communist memorials. What's actually inside a hot dog? Why the chips get hot? Video games make you a better athlete. Why ketamine is suddenly so popular? How to win a battle in the Middle Ages? That kind of sounds interesting. One woman stole 3% of Vietnam's GDP. It's kind of a fire title. Why Romeo Must Die remains a Jet Li action knockout? What? What? Hip hop kung fu? What are we going to learn from that? Fun movie? Yeah, it's a fine. Cradle of the Grave is way better. Cradle of the Grave sleeps Romeo Must Die. Has the car market ruined itself? Maybe. I would say the tariffs didn't help. This Canadian beat Wall Street billionaires. Okay. This one could be interesting. Tokyo subway attack. Your city's full of fake buildings. Guy who killed the most people in history. Dan Clancy? Or why did kids stop walking to school? 2025 car market situation is insane. Damn, this is such a terrible title and thumb. But this one might be more dry. The Veritasium one's really interesting. Okay, fuck it. If you think we'll learn something, that's the point. He killed the most people in history. Where was that? It just says whoops.
One single scientist created 3 inventions that accidentally caused the deaths of millions of people, including himself. Not only that, they decreased the average intelligence of people all around the world, increased crime rates, and caused 2 completely separate environmental disasters that we are still dealing with today.
It's fucking Riot Tryndamere making League of Legends. Human intelligence drops worldwide. Anger, violence, riots, death.
Part of this video is sponsored by Ren.
Okay.
More about them at the end of the show. In 1944, as a young chemist who had just finished his master's, Claire Patterson went to work on the Manhattan Project, building the first nuclear weapons. His job was to concentrate uranium-235, the fissile fuel for bombs, from the much more common uranium-238.
Okay.
And this required huge machines, mass spectrometers, which separated the 2 types of uranium by their slight difference in mass.
Okay.
After the war, Patterson went back to grad school to get his PhD. He picked a research project that would take advantage of his experience with mass spectrometers, measuring the age of the Earth.
Okay.
Radioactive rocks are effectively clocks. Uranium-238, for example, decays into thorium, and then protactinium, and then 12 more decays, until it ends up as lead-206, which is stable. The rate of this decay is consistent and can be measured. It takes 4.5 billion years for half
Around
of a sample of
1.3
U-238 to decay into lead-206.
Patterson's PhD project was to determine the age of the Earth by measuring the ratio of uranium to lead in primordial rocks. But to calibrate his instrument, first he used zircon crystals whose ages were known. Zircon...
Okay, but what if 7,000 years ago, when God created it all, he just set a certain arbitrary amount of lead? Checkmate. Okay? What if God literally just picked a ratio of lead out of his ass? And or her ass. Sure.
is ideal for this purpose because when it forms, it contains trace amounts of uranium, but absolutely no lead. So any lead that you later find inside a zircon, you know must be the product of a uranium decay. Now, Patterson was tasked with...
we're in a fucking Minecraft server where every time you get a new seed, it's a randomized amount of lead. What about that?
With measuring the lead content, and another student, George Tilton, measured uranium. Tilton's uranium measurements were fine. They matched predictions. But Patterson's lead measurements were all over the place, and they were many, many times higher than they expected.
We take George's uranium and my lead. Not right, Patterson. There was lead there that didn't belong there.
So where was all this extra lead coming from? That mystery would take over the rest of Claire Patterson's life. and bring him to the literal ends of the earth.
Okay. That shot
In
is funny.
1908, a woman was driving across the Belle Isle Bridge in Detroit when her car stalled. A passing motorist stopped to help. In those days, cars needed to be hand-cranked to start. He knelt down and turned the crank, and the engine roared to life, a little too suddenly. The man couldn't get out of the way, and the crank handle hit him in the face and broke his jaw. He died as a result.
What a fucking terrible way to die. That's crazy. That's why you never help women. That's the lesson. If you try to help a woman, you will die. That's, I believe, the takeaway. I think that's what... Damn, that's why chivalry is literally dead. That's crazy. That sucks. What a terrible way to die.
Of his injuries. His name was Byron Carter, and he was the founder of his own car company, so he was well connected in the Detroit auto scene. He counted among his close friends the founder of Cadillac, Henry Leland. Leland was so distraught over his friend's death.
Damn, what an aura loss to be like, yeah, I'm kind of a car guy. Okay, he's been long enough dead, we can make fun of it, right? To be like, yeah, don't worry, ma'am, I'm a car guy. I can get this fixed. Don't worry, I'll have you. I actually own my own car company. And then, blam! Oh, fuck! And you bleed out. That's crazy. That is just a crazy aura loss. That's not...
That he resolved to eliminate hand cranks from his vehicles. Leland hired Charles Kettering to create a self-starting car, and by 1911, he had a working prototype.
Hand cranking was difficult and dangerous, and best left to men. But a car that started itself changed everything.
The world's first crankless car was the Cadillac Model 30. It was much more powerful than cars before it. It had a top speed of 45 miles per hour and 40 horsepower, double the Ford Model T. The Model 30 was a huge success for Cadillac, doubling the company's annual sales. But it had a problem. It was deafeningly loud. In internal combustion engines, a piston compresses the fuel-air mixture, which is then ignited by a spark from the spark plug. The expanding hot gases push the piston back down. The problem with the Model 30 engine was it compressed the fuel-air mixture more than previous models. So much, in fact, that often the fuel would spontaneously combust before the spark from the spark plug. So rather than orderly, perfectly timed explosions, you'd get multiple haphazard combustions leading to turbulent pressure waves inside the cylinder. The resulting sound led the problem to become known as engine knocking. Knocking wasn't just hard on the ears, it hurt the engine's performance. It reduced power output and lowered fuel efficiency.
I learned something right there. I didn't know that's what engine knocking came. I don't know what the sound, when you hear that sound, I did not know that's why it happened. That's cool.
The vibrations also damaged the piston and walls of the cylinder, shortening the life of the engine. The good news was that engine knocking could be corrected by changing the fuel. Different fuels can withstand different levels of compression before detonating. N-heptane, for example, will spontaneously combust under only a little compression. Isooctane, on the other hand, can withstand a much higher compression ratio before it auto-ignites, so it's much less likely to cause knocking. To quantify how much compression a fuel can withstand, scientists came up with the octane rating system. They arbitrarily set isooctane to have a rating of 100 and N-heptane a rating of 0. Now, real fuels aren't made up of only these two ingredients. They're a mix of lots of different hydrocarbons, but the octane rating tells you what mixture of octane and heptane gives equivalent
Damn, I didn't know this at all. That's cool.
For example, 98 octane fuel can withstand the same compression as a mixture of 98% octane and 2% heptane. Now, I'm gonna take a little bit of 98 octane fuel and put it in this piston, and when I compress it, nothing happens, which is
This is going to be so annoying for Ari next time we're at a gas station and I'm explaining. explaining the different octanes and what they mean. It's going to be such a pain in the ass for her. If I remember it, I'll make it up. I'll tell her it's God's will.
Exactly what you'd expect. This fuel can withstand a lot of compression. Diesel has an octane rating of 20, so it acts like a mixture of 20% isooctane and 80% N-heptane. If I put a little bit of diesel in there, let's see what happens with the same compression ratio.
That's cool.
There you go. You get a little explosion in there. That's because this is a low octane fuel. I mean, that's what diesel's meant to do. You compress it and it ignites. But you don't want this sort of fuel in an engine with spark plugs. The reason fancy cars demand high octane fuel is to prevent knocking in their high compression, high performance engines. Kettering wanted to find an additive which would increase the octane rating of ordinary fuel and eliminate knocking in high compression engines. So he hired 27-year-old engineer Thomas Midgley Jr. Midgley experimented with all sorts of compounds, from melted butter and camphor to...
Is this connected to saying high octane action? Yes. Yes, it's all making sense, dude. That is actually something that I have undeniably learned today. Which is cool. It's a good video. I did not know where the octane rating system went from, and I didn't know what it was, the purpose of it. I always just bought the cheapest one. I thought it was kind of like a fancy pantsy. I mean, I've always thought of it more as a marketing gimmick, to be honest. I always thought that like the high octane fuel was like for rich people to spend more for fancy cars. I was like, they all run the same. Like, what the fuck? But low key, there's a chemical reason. They all taste the same. No, that's where you're wrong. No, I think high octane has a little bit of a sweeter, crisper taste. Okay.
Ethyl acetate and aluminum chloride. He later wrote most of them had no more effect than spitting in the Great Lakes. Ethanol was an interesting exception. It did stop the knocking, but you needed a lot of it, about 10% of the fuel mixture for it to be effective. That much ethanol would be expensive and hard to turn a profit on. And Midgley was really after an additive that was cheap, easy to produce, and effective even at low concentrations. So he kept trying. Then he hit on tellurium. It worked wonderfully as an anti-knock agent, but it had a terrible smell. You couldn't get rid of it by changing clothes or bathing. His wife was so offended by the stench that he had to sleep in the basement for 7 months. Midgley wrote, "I don't think that, although this doubled the fuel economy, humanity would suffer this smell."
That's funny.
On December 3rd, 1921, after 5 years of working on the problem, Midgley found what he thought was the perfect solution: tetraethyl lead.
Some fucking chatter just said lol Fartrioc. Do you think that was me on the screen? Do you think I invented tetrium in fucking... What are you talking about? And also, even if I did, that doesn't mean I'm farting. You think the guy farted so much and then blamed it on the... Dude, that'd be so funny. Imagine this dude actually just fucking reeked, but he blamed it on tetrium so his wife... What if there's a chemical that could have, like, drastically increased the global fuel economy, but we never found out about it because this guy kept ripping ass? No, babe, it's the tetrium. I'm actually a scientist. No, it doesn't look like me. I have a beard.
7 months. Midgley wrote, "I don't think that, although this doubled the fuel economy, humanity would suffer this smell." On December 3rd, 1921, after 5 years of working on the problem, Midgley found what he thought was the perfect solution: tetraethyl lead. That's a lead atom right there in the center. This additive was exactly what he was looking for. It stopped the knocking, it didn't smell, it was cheap to produce and readily available.
Best of all, you only needed 1 part in 1,000 for it to be effective.
In a call to Kettering, Midgley said, "Can you imagine how much money we're gonna make with this? We're gonna make $200 million, maybe even more." That is over $3 billion in today's dollars.
Now, for his discovery, the American Chemical Society gave him the prestigious Nichols Award, and they asked him to do a series of public talks.
He thought he was going to get $200 billion and only got 1 nickel? Broke ass?
But Midgley declined. He and Kettering patented the process for making tetraethyl lead, and they called their new additive ethyl. Perhaps so it might be...
So this is where unleaded gas comes from? We're getting to this whole... this is explaining the whole gas station to me.
Confused with another common additive, ethyl alcohol. They made no mention of lead. Then they teamed up with 3 of America's largest corporations, General Motors, DuPont, and Standard Oil of New Jersey, to form the Ethyl Corporation.
Their marketing was brilliant.
No man can look at the amazing record of accomplishment here in this research division without confidence that these men are going ahead with an eye to the future, looking for new facts and principles which will make things better and make life easier for all of us.
At the 1923 India...
That's a good ad. Your son will be embarrassed of you, slow ass, if you don't get ethyl. Your progeny will look upon you with shame. Your kids will call you a cuck. Unless you get ethyl gasoline. That's very funny. This one is not as good. This is just a big swordfish and it says as powerful as ethyl gasoline. That's a shit ad, dude. Where's the fucking emotional journey on that one? It's just a fucking swordfish. Big fish.
At the 1923 Indianapolis 500, the top 3 finishers all used ethyl, and the demand for leaded gasoline took off. To keep up, Ethyl Corporation had to build a new chemical plant in New Jersey, but the project began terribly. Within 2 months of operating, dozens of workers fell ill with lead poisoning. 5 of them died. To address the public outcry, Midgley held a press conference, and there he poured tetraethyl lead onto his hands, and he inhaled it for a full minute.
Dude, that would be so... We do this today. We need to have, like, the Sackler family get up there and prove that opioids aren't fucking... aren't dangerous by just fucking injecting fucking heroin. Just get up there and fucking light the spoon, dude.
He claimed he could do this daily without harm. But Midgley knew the dangers. The reason he had turned down the public talks was because he spent much of 1923 in Florida, where he himself was recovering from lead poisoning. He didn't go anywhere near his company's product if he could help it.
Dude, what a piece of shit.
Lead is dangerous even in small doses. It mimics calcium in our bodies, so there's no efficient way to get rid of it.
Holy, that's fucked up. That's so fucked up, dude. So fucked up. That's crazy. That's crazy work.
And like calcium, lead can be stored in bones for years, meaning it can continue to poison the body long after the initial exposure. The organ most sensitive to lead is the brain. Lead breaks down the myelin sheath around axons and prevents the release of neurotransmitters. That's why common symptoms of lead poisoning are headaches, memory loss, and tingling in the hands and feet.
Dude, I'm not kidding. This is so funny, but I don't even know how to properly explain this. I don't even know. I'm going to try to explain this to you, but I don't know if I can properly explain this. When I'm learning a new skill, like I've been practicing shooting from a certain location in basketball. I've been like practicing the same shot over and over. I literally try to picture in my brain my myelin sheath on my neurons lighting up. I'm trying to create the groove. I'm not kidding. That's how that's how I picture. I'm like trying to like I can do the same thing every time. Anyway, I just thought I'll tell you the truth. I keep it real on this stream, all right? I keep it real. I'll tell you what I'm doing. Embarrassing or not. Does it work? Versus a control group? I don't know. I mean, I practice something and I get better at it. I don't know if it works if I just didn't do this stupid visualing exercise.
Sheath around axons and prevents the release of neurotransmitters. That's why common symptoms of lead poisoning are headaches, memory loss, and tingling in the hands and feet. And children are particularly susceptible. Lead exposure can cause permanent learning disorders and behavioral problems. And the dangers of lead had been known for hundreds of years. Already in 1786, Benjamin Franklin remarked that lead had been used for far too long, considering its known toxicity. You will observe with concern how long a useful truth may be known and exist before it is generally received and practiced on. He would have been aghast to learn that nearly 150 years later, scientists planned to add lead to fuel. Doctors and public health officials from MIT, Harvard, Yale, and the U.S. Health Service wrote to Midgley and warned them against producing tetraethyl lead. They called lead a creeping and malicious poison and a serious menace to public health. Their concerns were dismissed.
Well, there's money to be made.
This model shows how just the right amount of fluid containing tetraethyl lead and dye is added to the gasoline.
No one doubted that a lot of lead was bad for you, but how much harm could a little lead do? By the 1950s, millions of motorists globally were burning lead in their cars and releasing it into the air. Some of that lead ended up on Claire Patterson's zircon samples, preventing him from determining their age. In 1952, he moved to Caltech, where he built a new lab from scratch. Suspicious of environmental contamination, he tore the electrical cables out of the walls to remove the lead solder. He cleaned the floors and benches daily with ammonia and made sure that air was always being blown out of the lab. To go inside, you had to wear a plastic bunny suit.
Jeez.
Patterson basically invented the clean room. Inside that room, he turned his attention to the oldest rocks in the solar system, meteorites. All the original rocks on Earth had long since been destroyed by tectonic activity. But meteorites come from asteroids, which formed around the same time as Earth. They have just been drifting through space until they entered the Earth's atmosphere. So the best way to measure the age of the Earth was to measure the age of meteorites.
Patterson measured 5 meteorites, each with 3 different radiometric dating techniques, and he found they were all 4.55 billion years old. That number is within 0.15% of the currently accepted value for the age of the Earth. You know, before Patterson's experiment, people thought the Earth was 1 billion years younger. So Patterson had done it. He measured the age of the Earth, but he wasn't done getting rid of lead contaminants.
Public concern about lead exposure had continued to grow, but President of Standard Oil Frank Howard pushed back, saying, "We do not feel justified in giving up what has come to the industry like a gift from heaven on the possibility that a hazard may be involved in it."
Scientists funded by the Ethel Corporation claimed that lead was a natural part of our environment and therefore not harmful to people. But Patterson wondered, just how natural is the lead in our environment? And he had just the skills to find out.
That is something Dan Clancy would say, for sure.
He began by measuring lead in the oceans. If it were natural, he expected the concentration of lead to be the same regardless of depth. But if lead pollution had increased recently, it would be more concentrated near the surface. He took samples in the Pacific and Atlantic Oceans down to a depth of 4 kilometers. And sure enough, lead concentrations were nearly 10 times higher near the surface.
Yikes.
Lead pollution was clearly recent, but when exactly had it occurred? To find out, Patterson had to go to Greenland and Antarctica. Ice cores record the level of lead in the air going back thousands of years. The levels of lead in the atmosphere have been elevated for the last 4,500 years. All of it is due to human activity, mainly smelting ores to make metal.
Dude.
You can see the rise in...
We fucking love smelting ores. Just such a human thing, dude. Nothing more human. Like, I feel like if humans hung out with aliens, they would say that's a human thing. Like, if there was a comedy show about humans on an alien planet, they'd be like, these fucking humans love smelting ores. They're always smelting. Humans be smelting. Like, if there was a Costco guys intergalactic TikTok, and it was about things humans do, and they're imitating humans, one of them will be smelting ores, because we just fucking love doing it.
Fall of the Greek and Roman empires, the dip caused by the Black Death in the 1300s, and of course the spike in the 20th century due to industrialization and tetraethyl lead.
We're Earth guys.
So what did this do to people? Well, Patterson looked at the lead levels in the teeth and bones of recently deceased Americans.
Yeah, let me see that again. That is you can't even see it because I'm covering it, but that's a pretty dramatic rise in lead. Like, that really spikes up. That could be a natural occurrence, though. Who knows? You know, I wouldn't want to blame it all on the lead gasoline.
Well, Patterson looked at the lead levels in the teeth and bones of recently deceased Americans, and for comparison, he measured the lead in bones and teeth of Peruvian and Egyptian mummies.
Dude,
since they lived over...
This guy really went on a fucking journey to just find out that, yeah, I mean, it's pretty obvious that if all the gasoline has lead in it, it's going out into the air, it's going to be bad. I appreciate that he went to the fucking lengths to prove it.
Over 1,600 years ago, they would have been exposed to much less lead in their lifetimes. He expected to find modern Americans had about 100 times as much lead in their bones, but results showed it was closer to a factor of 1,000. 20th century Americans had 1,000 times more lead in their bones than their ancestors.
And at the time, 20th century Americans were the most powerful country in the world, bar none. So you could say in a way that lead was our superpower. You could say in a way that 1950s America, which is the most strong relative to other nations any country has ever been in human history, and we had 1,000 times the lead of other countries, you could say we need to bring back the lead. You could make the case that the only way for America to become great again is to return the lead to the gasoline.
Studies of baby teeth revealed that even lead exposure well below the level considered safe resulted in delayed learning, decreased IQ, and increased behavioral problems.
And there's a broad consensus on the part of everybody except the lead industry.
Dude, it's actually a tragic disappointment that teachers will never get to have students who are both lead poisoned and iPad brained. They can only get one or the other. I want to build this new super race of children who are both iPad kids and lead poisoned kids who can be truly degenerate, truly impossible, and post-COVID, yeah.
And its spokesman that lead is extremely toxic at extremely low doses.
A follow-up study showed that those with higher levels of lead in their baby teeth were many times more likely to fail out of high school.
That's crazy.
As a result of studies like these, the CDC's guidelines for the acceptable level of lead in children's blood dropped from 60 micrograms per deciliter down to 3.5. And as far as we know today,
it's funny to just ballpark 60 for the acceptable amount of lead in children's blood. That's your job. Your job is to set the right amount of lead for children's blood and be like, yeah, I haven't done any studies or anything, but let's go with 60. 60 sounds good. It's like, bro, you know, we should start with probably 0 until we know it's safe, right?
Today, there is no safe level of lead. Globally, lead is believed to be responsible for nearly 2/3 of all unexplained intellectual disability.
According to a study published in 2022, more than half of the current US population, that's 170 million people, were exposed to high levels of lead in early childhood. Those born between 1951 and 1980.
Dude, no wonder boomers cooked the fucking world. Dude, no wonder. Oh my God, we've been fucking riding this boomer wave down for 30 years and they're all fucking lead poisoned from childhood. Oh my God.
Are disproportionately affected. The authors estimate that in aggregate, lead caused a loss of more than...
Flash forward exactly 30 years and some fucking kid is watching a VR YouTube video about how millennials and Gen Z had microplastics in their brain. They've been cooking us for 30 years and they all have microplastics in their fucking brain. No wonder they've been running this fucking country into the ground. No wonder they got us into the space wars.
Than 800 million IQ points. The world is less intelligent today because of leaded gasoline.
But there are even more troubling correlations. The US saw a steady rise in crime from the 1970s to the 1990s.
You know what's so fucked up is we are going to have a space war one day and there's not going to be a single goddamn lightsaber in it. That's fucked up. We're just going to fucking shoot guns at each other and fucking missiles and shit. There's not going to be a single Jar Jar Binks making goofy, squeeze me. There's not going to be a cool light. There's going to be nothing. It's going to be fucking like regular war, more boring and like probably going to be AI powered fucking drones killing each other in space. What a joke.
Then it abruptly declined. This graph looks eerily similar to a plot of preschool blood lead levels, just offset by 20 years.
The obvious question is, did kids who were exposed to higher levels of lead grow up to commit more crimes than they otherwise would have? You might think this is just a spurious correlation, but the same pattern appears in many countries, including Britain, Canada, and Australia. And we know there's a causal connection between lead exposure and antisocial or violent behavior. A study of 340 teenagers found that those who were arrested were 4 times as likely to have elevated lead in their bones than similar demographic controls who didn't have run-ins with the law. Now, this doesn't mean that lead is responsible for all of...
So if I'm a boomer and I kill you and I have a good enough lawyer, you think I could pull off the... Could I blame it on the lead? If I get a good enough lawyer and I snap into a violent rage and kill you, could I instead sue the Ethel Corporation for lead for making me that way?
The increase in crime, but it's very likely responsible for some of it.
Now, it's tough to estimate the precise death toll of lead. One of its lesser-known effects is a hardening of the arteries, leading to increased cardiovascular disease. A study from
This shit fucks
2018
you
found
up.
lead was likely responsible for 250,000 heart disease deaths per year in the US.
That's crazy.
Assuming a constant rate over the past century, that amounts to 25 million deaths in the US alone. Globally, the figure may approach 100 million. Most of those deaths are due to Midgley's decision to put lead in gasoline, a substance he knew firsthand was toxic, but he did it anyway to maximize profits. And the problem is not over. Current estimates of deaths caused by lead range from 500 to 900,000 per year. A 2020 UNICEF report warns that 1 in 3 children globally, that's over 800 million children, have blood lead levels at or above 5 micrograms per deciliter.
Hey, thank you for the gifties. Thank you for the gift. Wait, let me just give a quick thank you here for these gifties. Who was it by? Billy Snake. Thank you for the gifties. Very appreciative. No chat message. Wow. Okay. Thank you. Is he saying we still use lead in gasoline? It's unleaded now.
Warns that 1 in 3 children globally, that's over 800 million children, have blood lead levels at or above 5 micrograms per deciliter.
A lot of this lead now comes from batteries and industrial processes, but some is still due to Midgley's invention.
Jeez.
Now, after Midgley's success with Ethel, he was put in charge of another engineering project. GM wasn't just making cars, but also household appliances. And fridges had a problem. The 2 most common gases used as refrigerants were methyl formate and sulfur dioxide. One is highly toxic, the other is flammable. Midgley was tasked with creating a safer alternative. And in 1928, he developed a non-toxic and non-flammable refrigerant, dichloro-difluoromethane. GM called this new product Freon. And to demonstrate Freon's safety, during the unveiling at the American Chemical Society...
This guy's got one note. This guy's got one party trick, and it's fucking inhaling chemicals he knows to be toxic in front of a crowd to trick them into making it public. He's fucking crazy. That's crazy to do it twice. The dude's just addicted.
Midgley inhaled a lungful of this gas and blew out a candle. In the following decades, CFCs like Freon became very popular.
Dude huffed a lungful of Freon in front of a crowd. That's so funny. We should have a better test than this. Than just getting this guy up there to fucking... yeah, just do galaxy gas or whatever fucking illegal shit.
Popular and were used as solvents and aerosols. The problem is CFCs are light and stable. When released into the atmosphere, they climb up into the stratosphere, where they can remain for 50 to 100 years. But if a CFC molecule is hit by an ultraviolet photon of just the right energy, it breaks apart, releasing a chlorine atom. And this chlorine atom can then react with ozone, breaking it apart into chlorine monoxide and oxygen gas. The result was another environmental disaster, the hole in the ozone layer. With less ozone, more UV light penetrates the atmosphere.
I didn't know we're doing fake fucking news here. I thought it was a science channel. I didn't know we were going to just fucking make shit up. The ozone layer isn't real. God protects us from fucking rays. Okay? So, I didn't know this was going to get fucking stupid. I thought we were fucking yawn. Utter woke nonsense, dude. The only zone that matters is the end zone. That's damn right. That is damn right. That is fucking. I just got chills hearing that. Yes.
Increasing the rates of skin cancer and cataracts. Plus, CFCs are potent greenhouse gases. Per kilogram, they produce 10,000 times more warming than CO2. The historian John McNeill wrote that Midgley had more impact on the atmosphere than any other single organism in Earth's history. An agreement to phase out CFCs, the Montreal Protocol, went into effect in 1989, and the ozone layer is now showing signs of recovery, although it'll take many more decades to fully recover. In 1940, at the age of 51, Midgley contracted polio and became physically disabled. So to help him get up, he devised a mechanical bed controlled by a series of ropes and pulleys. On November 2nd, 1944, while using the contraption, he became tangled in the ropes and died of strangulation.
Jesus.
Thanks to the work of Claire Patterson, it became clear that the lead in our environment is not natural. Burning lead in combustion engines spread the toxic element across the planet, into the air, oceans, the snow at the South Pole, and even our bones. Japan was the first to ban leaded fuel in cars in 1986, but other countries soon followed suit. Algeria was the last to do so in 2021.
Dude. They wanted to be sure. Damn. That's when you leave the party after the lights are on, dude. That's late. 2021 is late, Algeria. Well, that's a fucking long time. If you're banning leaded fuel post-COVID, that's crazy.
The UN calculates that the elimination of lead from gas saves over 1 million lives per year and $2.45 trillion.
Wow, much more important than
But
lives.
leaded gas is still used, by the way, in piston-driven airplane engines. That's now the largest source of lead emissions into the air in the US. You will observe with concern how long a useful truth may be known and exist before it is generally received and practiced on. When I first learned about Thomas Midgley and Claire Patterson, I was amazed by how much harm or how much good a single person could do to the environment, which brings me to the sponsor of this video, Wren. And
Check them out. That was a good video. That was my favorite Veritasium video I ever watched. I thought it was paced well, and I learned at a steady pace, and it was relevant. I liked it a lot. That was I think you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to stop huffing lead every night. I'll tell you that. Well, I'll cut back on it. I'm not going to stop on it because it makes me feel good, but I'm going to cut back. That put a whole new perspective on that hobby of mine. Is that his most viewed video? 37 million views. That's crazy. Popular? No, not even close. Well, it's top 10, top 8. Yeah, that was a really good video. For sure. And the higher viewed one is like backspin basketball flies off a dam. I got to imagine that this video is better than that one. That one just has a fucking catchy thumbnail. Dude, speaking of the Magnus effect, and no, I'm not talking Carlson. Speaking of the Magnus effect on a spin, where the fuck is this? Did I send this to? I sent this to Pay, I think. Dude, have you seen this? This is unreal. I thought it was fake, but it's fucking real. Look at this. No, not LeBron. Steph Curry. Look at this. This is recent. What the fuck? What the fuck? Oh, it is fake? Another, wait, wait, this is fake? Dude, this is like, it was like #1 on Reddit and all the comments were. It is real, just didn't go in. So this is edited or what? Because it goes in this video, right? Dude, it goes in. Oh, it just hit the net. Okay, but everyone here thought it went in. Like, they're not faking their reaction. Okay. Well, okay. Even hitting the net is, like, pretty cool. It's a bummer it doesn't go in. It's a bummer it doesn't go in, but, like, okay, so the fact that he threw it and he curved it with one hand like he's fucking in Wanted, and it landed right there. That's still insane. But what I'm saying is this video is not AI, you're telling me. This is 100%, like, everything I'm watching actually happened. This is a real video, real footage. Yeah, that's crazy. That's fucking crazy. That's unreal. Curry to the Lakers for Bronny. We would never trade Bronny for someone like Steph Curry. No disrespect. No disrespect, but we want a great shooter, not a good shooter. You know what I'm saying? Bronny's an investment. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Bronny's potential peak clears anything Curry could give. Yeah, you're getting it. You're fucking getting it. Wait, what is this? Wait, this is a different video. There's like a bunch of these videos, bro. Are you sure? The comments are says he does this every game. Like the comments on the Reddit say he does this after every game. He does it consistently. He makes some, he misses some. So he has made it. So he has made it. So what are you fucking talking about? Like all these comments are saying that he made it on Reddit. That's crazy. This comment says, he must have made a deal with the devil for his soul. No human should shoot like that. That's funny. Okay, well. Do we have another video, folks? Wait, it's 11 o'clock? Wait, where's the fucking time go? Where's the fucking time go? Wait, I wanted to talk about so much stuff. Oh, poo. I think I just started too late because of the Lakers game. Well, no, we've been live for 3 hours 30. That's my normal stream time. Wait, what the hell? You delayed for an hour? Yeah, but I'm also an hour later than I usually end. Gen Z and sleep? What's this? This just says, bro, go to sleep.
Let's make a deal.
No, I don't. A man faked an element. Nah. Oh, New Japan analysis. No, I don't want to. If it came out 5 minutes ago, I don't want to watch it. Oh, also, this is an hour long. 5 minutes ago, an hour long video about an adult video star in Japan surviving prison and explaining Japanese crime. That's crazy. No. All right. Well, I didn't really get to talk about Elon, which I wanted to talk about, but I guess Ada will have to find a different clip. I guess Ada will have to find a different clip. Damn the Lakers. No, they won though. One more vid for the road. I'm trying to find one, but I want like a short, good one, and I can't. That video was great though. Whoever recommended that, actually, I know who recommended that. It was Zoba Zolia. Zoba Zolia. That was a good recommendation. I was glad to have watched that. I feel like I learned something that's going to stick with me. All right, I'm going to watch Jimmy High Roller. Fuck it. Right? He's going to have a fucking graph with LeBron on it. I will watch Jimmy, and then I will go to bed.
We are now just a few weeks away from the end of the 2025 NBA regular season. Okay. And by this point, the MVP race is usually all but wrapped up. But what do you do when there's two MVPs? History says you vote for the guy who is leading his team to the most wins of any team in a decade while putting up prime Michael Jordan numbers. Very clearly the best player on the best team, which should make this decision pretty obvious. Except it's not. Because history has never seen a season like the one Nikola Jokic is having. It's better than this one, and this one, and this one. In fact, it is possibly the most impactful season anyone has ever had. 2 all-time great campaigns, and only 1 trophy. It is the greatest MVP race in recent history, and it has left voters completely torn, questioning what it even means to be the NBA's most valuable player.
Okay, good intro.
Today's video is sponsored by DraftKings.
No. That's an easy skip. That's an easy
DraftKings
skip.
Pick 6. Most compelling case someone can make to be the most valuable player in the league is to put up the best numbers in the league. This isn't the only ingredient to the MVP recipe, but it's a big one. And right now, Jokic and Shea aren't just having the 2 best seasons in the NBA, they're having 2 of the best seasons of all time. Just looking at some simple box score numbers, Nikola Jokic jumps off the screen like the obvious favorite. A near 30-point triple-double on nearly the best efficiency in the entire league, and the first player to ever be top 3 in points, rebounds, and assists. Numbers that make Shea's season look a bit pedestrian, despite being historic. 33, 5, and 6 on at least 60% true shooting.
He got like a double, triple-double recently, right? Where he had like 40 20 20 or something, 30 20 20. It's disgusting. That's unreal.
Is a stat line that has only been achieved by 3 other players in the history of the NBA: Michael Jordan, James Harden, and Luka Doncic across 5 different seasons. Although none of them were as efficient from the floor as Shea is this season. However, box score numbers by themselves have never been quite enough to compel voters. Of these 5 previous seasons, only one of them ended up winning the MVP. Michael Jordan in '88. And to pull it off, he had to also be the best defensive player in the league. In the case of Jokic, there's only been one season in modern NBA history that compares to his, Russell Westbrook in 2017. And that season, he was the runaway MVP, receiving 69 of the total 101 first place votes. The glaring difference between these two seasons, the mile-wide gap.
LeBron got one vote. One vote for Braun. Someone's got a glaze. That was me.
Place votes. The glaring difference between these two seasons, the mile-wide gap in their efficiency. Nearly a decade and some of the most absurd statistical seasons later, and the upgraded version of Westbrook's MVP season not only doesn't warrant a runaway victory for the award, it may not even win it. But these numbers hardly even scratch the surface of the impact and value these two provide every game. If we take a deeper look into some of their more advanced numbers, we can see just how remarkable Shea and Jokic have been this season and why the MVP race is as close as it is. To put into perspective the caliber of season these two are having, LeBron at his absolute statistical peak had a—
Dude, I just think how funny it's insane how good Jokic is when he doesn't look like he's athletic. He just doesn't, like, I feel like I see a guy like this all the time. Maybe not as big, but compared to fucking people in the NBA, he just doesn't look like he's, yeah, he looks dad-bodied. He looks kind of like
caliber of season these two are having, LeBron at his absolute statistical peak had a box plus minus of 13.24. Steph Curry at his absolute best had a BPM of 11.94. This season, Jokic has a box plus minus of 13.21, and Shea is at 11.58. Choosing between Jokic and SGA this season is like picking between 09 LeBron and 2016 Steph. Good luck. For the last half-decade, Jokic has led the league in just about every advanced metric by about a mile. But this season, Shea has threatened Jokic's spot and even dethroned him at times as the best player in the league. A feat that, in and of itself, is probably the most impressive thing he's done all season. On any given night, either one of them can look like the most impactful player on the planet. And even looking at advanced numbers, the edge is only slightly in Jokic's favor. Crafted NBA has Jokic as the best player in the—
Do you guys ever think that, like, I'm sort of a hybrid between Jokic and SGA? Like, if you were to take, like, their styles and combine them, don't you? Isn't it like I'm kind of like the hybrid of the two? Interesting thought. Yeah, I can see why a lot of you think that. Like, I would never say about myself because it's kind of arrogant, but I do feel like I have a lot of the skills from both sides.
Only slightly in Jokic's favor. Crafted NBA has Jokic as the best player in the NBA this season, with Shea right behind him, and then a really big gap, and then everyone else. Estimated plus minus, on the other hand, has—
It looks like a dick.
And then a really big gap, and then—
It looks like a dick. It looks like it's a dick that's freaking coming on the two best players. It looks like a cock and balls. I'm sorry. It's just fucking, it's very obvious is what it is. Grow up. I'm sorry. That's
then everyone
dead
else.
On.
Estimated plus minus, on the other hand, has Shea as the best player in the league this season, with Jokic right behind him, and then huge gap, everyone else. A quick glance at any of these catch-all statistics will tell you that Jokic and SGA are both historically and almost equally as dominant this season. Fortunately for those who are put to the difficult task of choosing between Jokic and SGA for MVP, these numbers have never been a direct indication of who will or who should win the award. Over the last 2 decades, the best or most impactful player in the NBA in any given season, according to some of the best advanced metrics, ended up winning the MVP award only about half of the time. Many times, these are cases where the individual numbers were backed with regular season team success. But rarely have the numbers alone, regardless of how great they were, been enough to be crowned the most valuable player in the league. In fact, if putting up the best stats automatically made a player the MVP, voting for the award wouldn't even be necessary. So in terms of sheer sheer individual numbers, there isn't a very compelling case to be made in either direction. Jokic's numbers are better, but without more context, their dominance from game to game is virtually the same. So we need to add more context. How are these performances impacting their team? And to what extent does their historic production lead their team to success? In most cases, when two players are having incredible seasons, the tiebreaker in the eyes of fans and voters comes down to how well their team is playing. The second ingredient to the MVP recipe: win and win often. 25 of the last 30 MVPs went to players who clinched either the first or second seed in their conference. And right now, the Thunder aren't just winning more games than the Nuggets. They are the fourth highest winning team in modern NBA history. But recently, team success has held less weight in the MVP discussion than it has in the past. 3 of the last 4 MVPs going to players outside of the top 2 seeds. Nikola Jokic being just the second player in over 40 years to win the MVP, despite his team not even cracking 50 wins in a full season back in
Hey, thank you for the gifties. Wait, quick pause. Thank you, Billy Snake, for the gifties. I appreciate it. Jokic Pog agrees, very fucking good.
2021. As if
it's gonna be nice when Adam Silver forces the Nuggets to trade him to LA, so we can have Jokic and Doncic on the same team. That will be good. That's gonna be nice. I'm excited for next season when we get him.
The voters have made the decision that the MVP isn't limited to simply the best player on the best team, but rather the player who has the largest impact on a winning team. And right now, there is one player in basketball who is impacting the game far more than anyone else. Here are the current top 8 leaders in the MVP race: Jokic, Shea, Giannis, Tatum, Mitchell, Curry, Mobley, and LeBron. And here are the net ratings of each of their teams. Shea has put on a masterclass all season, leading.
I'm beginning to get the sinking feeling that the Lakers are not going to win this year. I'm getting the feeling that somehow they're not gonna dominate the playoffs. And
the Thunder to be not just the most dominant team this season, but the second most dominant regular season team in NBA history in terms of net rating. And for many people, the overwhelming team success the Thunder have had this season is enough to push Shea into the lead for the MVP. But value isn't just when your team wins. It is how much your team depends on you to win. If we look at each team's net rating when their MVP candidate is on the floor, it is clear that the Thunder are easily the best team in the league when Shea is on the court, with an absurd net rating.
Lakers got worse? What? Did the Lakers rating go down when LeBron's on the floor? What are these fucking stats? That can't be true. What are these fucking stats? That doesn't... Who designed this? No, that...
Of plus 18.3. This means that when Shea is on the floor, the Thunder are nearly 20 points better than their opponents per 100 possessions, followed by the Cavs with Mobley, the Cavs with Mitchell.
It shows plus 0.02. Yeah, but it showed their normal net rating was like, what, 4 or something? And so it went down. It went...
And the Nuggets with Jokic. But the most revealing measure is the difference a player makes for their team when they're on the court versus when they're off the court, where Nikola Jokic jumps out as by far the most valuable and important player to his team in the entire...
Dude, what the fuck is this? Why is it a -9 swing when LeBron is on the court? What is that cannot be true, dude. That's not... That must be a misleading stat. I'm not even glazing here. That doesn't make sense. LeBron is not a -9 effect on the Lakers. That's... I mean, he was in that Bulls game, though. I'll tell you that. No, that isn't... That's got to be something to do with, like, the lineups or something. Like, they bring him out with the B squad more. I don't know. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't. Maybe they added both James to the stats and Bronny's stats dragged it down. Maybe that's Bronny getting mixed in, dude. Maybe it's they didn't. That doesn't make sense. That seems skewed. But plus 18.8 for fucking Jokic. I mean, that makes sense because look, the Nuggets without him are a terrible fucking team. That's so funny. He literally is single-handedly making this team even decent.
Entire league. His presence on the floor is the difference between the Nuggets being a net negative 8.2 points, bordering the worst team in the NBA, and a plus 10.6, one of the best teams in the NBA. For many of these MVP candidates, their team can still compete at a high level even when they're off the court, like the Celtics without Tatum, the Cavs without Mitchell or without Mobley, the Lakers without LeBron, and the Thunder without Shea. Steph and Giannis are the only other MVP candidates who elevate their teams from below average to title contenders. But without Jokic on the floor this season, the Nuggets are nearly the worst team in the league. Now, it's worth considering who these players play around when they're on the floor. A rotation that tends to keep starters together is bound to favor those in that starting lineup compared to a rotation that pulls and plugs periodically. For example, if Jokic tends to play with starters more often than not, but SGA is constantly playing with rotational players, Jokic's numbers are going to appear better on paper because he's playing alongside a better group. And so I looked into this. How many possessions these MVP candidates have played this season, and how many of those possessions were exclusively with the starting lineup. And it turns out that Nikola Jokic does have the benefit of playing with the best players on the Nuggets more than any of these other.
I mean, LeBron's is not. I mean, I thought his would be low, like Steph's. It's not. It's like right up there with the rest of them. Wait, I fucking lost my camera. Okay.
Candidates play with theirs. 17% of all of his minutes on the court coming alongside the Nuggets starters. For comparison, Steph only plays with the Warriors starting lineup 9% of the time. But in most cases, this number is negligible. For example, Giannis plays with the Bucks starters virtually as much as Jokic plays with his. And at most, the difference in time these players see on the court with their best unit varies by less than 10% of their total playing time. In other words, it doesn't really matter who Jokic is playing around. He rises the tides for his entire team significantly more than anyone else in the entire league. In fact, according to Cleaning the Glass, when you translate these on-off splits to an estimation of impact on Denver's record, the Nuggets are a staggering 45 wins better as a team when Jokic is on the floor versus when he isn't. For comparison, Shea's on-court impact on the Thunder projects to them being about 15 wins better as a team. But this is where the discussion becomes a matter of what you value most in your most valuable player. Because while Jokic elevates the Nuggets to one of the best teams in the league, Shea elevates the Thunder to being one of the best teams of all time. Is it more valuable to drag your team from being bad to being in title contention? Or is it more valuable to elevate your team from title hopefuls to overwhelming title favorites? This is essentially...
I'm not that good at the fundamentals of basketball, but I'm kind of a glue guy. Because I keep the spirit light. I teach people about marketing sometimes. I feel like if you put me on a team, the wins go up, even if I'm not scoring. Because I huff it. Yeah, well, if I'm huffing the glue, then I'm giving people a good time. If I huff the glue with LeBron, he can relax a bit.
What the MVP race is boiling down to. A player with ungodly numbers propelling his team to compete at a level they have no business being at, or a historically great scoring juggernaut who is the sole leader of the best team in recent history. And the answer to this question may boil down to a third and final ingredient to the MVP award, a factor that is often ultimately decided who has won in the past and will more than likely be the deciding factor this season.
DraftKings.
In ESPN's most recent MVP straw poll, 100 members of the media were asked to cast their vote on who they thought was the MVP of the 2025 NBA season. The results? Within the top 5, Donovan Mitchell received 0 first-place votes. So did Tatum, and so did Giannis. Nikola Jokic received 30, and Shai Gilgeous-Alexander received 70 of the 100 first-place votes.
Okay.
So far, the media has spoken, and they think Shai is this season's most valuable player. But in more recent surveys asking players, NBA executives, and NBA analysts, out of the 25 votes that were casted, 18 were in favor of Jokic, and only 7 voted for Shai. Which brings us to our third ingredient in the MVP. Narratives. Beyond what you do on the court, the story has to be in your favor as well. And at the moment, every narrative is beaming directly at Shai Gilgeous-Alexander to become this season's most valuable player. First and foremost, he is the best player on the best team, a formula that has led to more MVPs than any other. While Jokic is fighting the uphill battle of voter fatigue, Shai is ripe to receive his first MVP. He's not just having a great season, he's having an all-time great individual season. He plays both sides of the ball, he is the leader of the NBA's brightest young team, and in a league that's been searching for a fresh face, Shai is front and center. SGA has what I consider to be the perfect MVP resume this season. He checks every single box for what you would want in your most valuable player. He has the marquee performances, he has the momentum, he has the caliber, and of course, he's never won it before. But narratives can also lead us astray. They can allow our emotions to dictate how we perceive what we are actually seeing. Okay. And that's where precedence gives us points to reference in search for the most fair and accurate conclusion. It allows us to not be prisoners of the moment, but instead consider the history of the game and the unwritten rules we've abided by up to this point. Precedence tells us that no matter how great a player is, winning 4 MVPs before making it to the finals even twice is completely unheard of, even for the greatest players to ever play. For this same reason, voter fatigue is a frustrating but very real thing. If the MVP award purely went to the most valuable player in the league every season, Michael Jordan and LeBron would each be sitting on about 8 of them right now. Instead, the award sort of blends from one season to the next, taking in the context of everything that came before it and the consequences of it. Decades ago, MVP voters decided that the award was not reserved for the best player or even the player having the best season. Instead, it was an award that had multiple ingredients, multiple boxes that needed to be checked off. But even by their own criteria, what qualified a player to be the MVP was changing all the time. If it was simply the player having the best season, Michael Jordan would have won it about 8 times. If it was the best player on the best team, Michael Jordan would have won it about 8 times. But instead, he has 5, which has essentially set a firm benchmark on how voters vote for the foreseeable future. Voters messed up by not rewarding MJ with the number of MVPs he rightfully earned, and so every player that came after him is held to the same arbitrary, convoluted standard. As one fan put it, sports writers regret not giving Jordan all the MVPs and now punish everyone after that like it's a Supreme Court case and not just something they could change at any time. A case of we do it this way because we've always done it this way. The MVP award should be given to the most valuable player in the league, but it's not quite that simple, and it never has been. To make the argument that Jokic deserves the MVP because he is objectively having the best season in basketball right now would be the most logical conclusion. But it would also be ignoring the 78 years of history, tradition, and expectations that we have come to.
Why don't they just give it to me? That way no one's mad about it. Or like, you know what I'm saying? If we just if they go with either one or the other, someone's going to be mad. But if they gave it to me, then everyone's like, oh, that's interesting. That's different. That's a new take.
Follow. Based on the responses to this discussion so far, it appears that now more than ever, the players and the people involved in the NBA from game to game view the award as a reflection of simply who is the best, most impactful player. And the media looks at it through the lens more of story and narrative. And in the end, it is the media who gets to vote. With less than a month left in the regular season, the race for the MVP only seems to be getting tighter with each game. And in what is shaping up to be the greatest MVP battle we have ever seen, voters will have to either stay the course and vote for a player that has built a near perfect MVP case, or make a rare exception to a player that is quite possibly having the most impactful individual season in modern NBA history.
Tough call. Tough call, good vid. Give it to Squeaks. Imagine Squeaks wins MVP. I would be mad. That would make me mad. What's your vote? Well, we'll see. I am playing basketball tomorrow, and if Aiden does well, he might earn it. Might go to Aiden. Watch Jokic's half-court buzzer beater. Jokic buzzer beater.
Yep, he does.
Oh, yeah, I saw this. I actually did see this. I thought it was on fucking shorts, but I'll.
Yep, he does. Sexton. Again, just another straight drive. 4 to go. Jokic, the heave. Counted it. Go!
That's a 3/4 court. He does a little Euro step here, too. That's funny. In a way, all his steps are Euro steps, though, because of where he's from. All right, chat. I will see you on Monday. Sevens, thanks for watching. We will do a deeper dive on Elon Musk using his own company to buy his own company. I have a couple slides, but I'll do it on Monday. Sorry to do it today. Who's live? We'll raid somebody. We will raid Dr. Battle. We will raid Dr. Battle. Give him some love. Thanks for watching. Good night. Good luck. Godspeed.